Hey guys, welcome to the show. We have a very special second guest of this month where we talk about Twitch, marketing within the gaming industry, cosplay, and then a quick little rundown on our Spidey watch. You guys, enjoy the show. Bryan, hit that intro! Coming to you from 1920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown, Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 73. I'm your host, Rene.
This is Bryan.
Nick. And welcome to the show, everyone.
Woo! 2 episodes away from 75. Gosh. We're 3/4 of the way there to 100.
What do we get on 75? Do I get a dolly?
Do we? I don't know. Should we do something?
Get a dolly?
Why would I not want to? Why do I not get a dolly?
How would we use that?
What do you mean we?
It's Nick's ideas. You know what? We'll give Nick 75. I'll plan out 100.
Okay.
Nick, you can plan out celebration for 75.
All right.
Have fun with that. Let's get into the topics because, again,
Yes.
This is the second guest we have on the show.
Because why you have a camera straight to your face.
Exactly, because we can't reveal them yet.
The reason why he looks like a psychopath right
Mind
now.
you, this is a personal decision that Bryan does.
That was a personal.
We're
It's
fine with
easier for the edits.
personal choice to look like a crazy person. That's right.
I am crazy. Anyways, so our guest for today, if you don't mind me introducing. Okay. Our guest for today, talented person, great cosplayer, big streamer,
Yes.
Cece!
I like how
Sorry.
as you were introducing her, she's like, I don't think so.
I'm like, talented is kind of pushing it, and big.
You
streamers,
are. You listen.
Thank you.
I will say this. Everyone thinks that streaming is one of the easiest things to do because you turn on a camera, you
Yeah.
play video games,
Yes.
and you talk to people. That's
Yeah.
not the case.
No, it is not. Not at all. Not like yes, that's like the bare bones of it, but like it's very difficult actually.
It is. I've tried a couple times to do it, and it's good when you got a decent group of people watching you,
For sure.
and if they interact with you. Otherwise, you're just kind of sitting there going like, "Yeah, I'm playing Doom. Cool.
Hey, what's up?
Okay,
It's-
sure."
I feel like streaming is a lot easier. What makes it moderately easier is when you have a good group of people that are playing with that you can bounce off of.
For sure. There are days where like I refuse to play a solo game because I just don't have the energy and I need people to like bounce off of.
Right.
Because I'll play Pokemon, but I play it by myself and like I have no one to bounce off of there, and it's like after a full day of work, I'm like, I have zero energy to do this today.
Right.
So like I go onto a multiplayer game and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
From like that perspective.
I know a buddy of mine, he streams, and there are times where we do bits that he didn't even know about, and then now it's like, oh great, like what are these idiots doing? Of like us just like getting like the warthogs and like racing around or trying to drive them into buildings.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
it's just
so
like,
much
why?
better.
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing? It's like,
I know.
Oh, we're having fun.
I
We're
just like I now have like pushed myself into this corner where I have like stream regulars, you know, like it feels like a regular cast. I feel like I'm on a sitcom and I'm like, I have to like pay you guys to come back here because like people like you and I need to keep you on the stream. And then when they're gone, they're like, where's this person? And I'm like, I live in their life. That just isn't their stream. Like
they don't work here.
yeah, no, I'm not paying them.
So you stream. You know what? Let's do this. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
God.
Like, what is it that you do? So you do cosplay.
Yes.
You do streaming.
Yes.
You work in.
I work in esports marketing. I produce Twitch ads and get sponsors for professional gamers. It's a pretty cool job, actually. It's a lot of fun.
Professional gamers, meaning like content creators or
Yeah,
like
it can
esports
be
teams?
It can be both, any of the above. So it really depends on the client because it's a lot of the client's choices of like some clients will come to us and they're like, we just want one streamer to really like our product and really advertise it, and then some teams will be like, we want to sponsor an entire esports team and throw a tournament and like want to go all out, and it really depends. They also do not understand what video games are. I spend 90% of my meetings full hours just being like, okay, streaming and Twitch.
Oh, wow.
Let me explain what the fuck this is.
That's actually like an interesting thing to to mention, that, you know, a lot of the companies that possibly could work for just don't know anything about the video game industry itself.
Oh, they know nothing.
It's more interesting when you have a company that's in the video game industry and they still don't understand it.
Oh my God.
They don't get it. Like, they just don't get it.
They don't. It's wild to me. Something I can mention, because we've done campaigns with them before. We did a few campaigns for Konami. And, like, sometimes Konami doesn't even know how to advertise to their own audience. And they hire us. I know. And that's the thing. Is they, like...
Konami's terrible at advertising.
Yeah, and they don't understand Twitch that well. And so, like, they're like, we're like, you have this audience that, like, plays Yu-Gi-Oh! You have devoted fans to this audience. And we have to explain to them, like, how to do it. Because, and we're like, but you are a gaming company. Like...
You technically... have games.
Yeah, I mean, they've Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially.
That's their main. That's Konami's main game is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe you can answer this question, but were you working in the industry when Nintendo had that giant thing where, like, this controversy where they were saying, if you want to stream or do Let's Plays on YouTube with our product,
it's a nightmare.
You have to pay us.
So I remember it. I was not working in the industry at the time. But I remember it. I also follow competitive Melee very closely. And competitive Melee gets a lot of they really get the hard end of the stick, you know? Like, Nintendo really does not want them to play Melee anymore. Yeah. They're like, we want you to play our new games. And we're like, your new games aren't good.
Yeah, play Ultimate, play whatever it is that's new.
And nobody wants to because it's not competitively viable. And so it's super interesting. Like, Nintendo just doesn't understand their own audience, and it's like, cool.
I always find it interesting that it's like not just the fact that they want people to, like, move into the newer games, but they've come out and said things like, we also don't care much for competition. We don't want to do tournaments.
But that doesn't make any. The thing that doesn't make any sense about that is Nintendo started and grew because of competitions and tournaments.
I know.
Yeah.
Because they actually, in 1989, they really literally had city by city championships of play our games.
Yeah.
Like, learn how to play our games is the Nintendo World Championships, and you guys can, master the video games. And the whole point was to then show these are the games and enjoy them.
But those were, like, marketed, cabinet style tournaments, like you would, like, those.
No, they're not. They were
online.
They were LAN parties.
Oh, but that's what I'm talking about. It's like a cabinet kind of style.
No, it was an SNES. They were literally playing on an NES inside of it with a TV attached to it.
In an arena.
In an arena
on a stage.
Oh yeah.
No, it was arenas. They had it was like auditoriums and stuff like that. But I mean, it was like maybe 300, 400 people at the time. That's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite thing about competitive Melee is that competitively you cannot play it correctly competitively unless you have one of those box TVs.
Yes,
like, you have to play it. You have to lean in. You gotta get right up in there, and you're like. Like, you can't play it on a flat screen because there's so much lag, and it's not programmed to work on a flat screen. So you're just so close to the TV, and
so your eyes are just burning out.
Yeah. So it's like, this is great.
As you're trying to do this.
I'm gonna win.
Dude, have you actually seen kind of in that same genre, like, fighting game competitions?
No. Oh yeah.
They're insane.
They're insane. They're so cool. And then there's Evo, and Evo is just like the biggest fighting game competition in the world.
Evo's gross.
Oh, it is gross.
Do you are familiar with any fighting games besides, like, Mortal Kombat? You know Tekken?
Yeah, I know Tekken.
Okay, Tekken is super interesting to watch esports wise. Yeah, and Dragon Ball Fighters.
I've heard of it. Yes,
I know it.
I know of it, but what about it?
No, it's super.
Testing me.
You know what? Like, Melee.
Do you know video games? Is that what you do? Do you know it?
I'm sorry.
Do you just know titles? I don't need no explanation.
Fighting game tournaments are sick.
Well, I remember when I was working in video games, we were trying to get a controller to go to Evo, like make an actual battle stick, and at a certain point we were just like, we just scrapped the project because it costs so much to actually get it to tournament level, where it was like we would literally make $2 like on each one of these. And they would be like $200 machines.
Yeah.
Just to get the right buttons to make sure that you can take them out, because competitive play on those fight sticks are insane. People swap out buttons. They want to make sure that like each button has like either blue keys, brown keys. They want to make sure that it's customizable to the way that they play. And if it's not there, it's not going to Evo. It's not going to be there.
Video games are freaking weird. Have you worked with like because I know one of the biggest things, I think kind of like the esports industry really grew when Overwatch League was like making steps forward.
True.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first quote unquote leagues that came out and was like, you know, we're really pushing that kind of like boundary where now we have official teams like the NFL and, you know, hockey and stuff. These guys are like, they're coming from cities. They represent a city.
Yeah.
They have a team logo and all these different things. And Overwatch League had I would say a good successful run for the first like 2 years.
Yeah, yes.
And then it kind of...
It's because of the Blizzard controversy
Yeah.
that mostly made it die out, which sucks because I loved Overwatch League. Like I was dedicated. The Gladiators are my team to this day. I still love a lot of the players. I follow them. I love a lot of the casters. But with the whole Blizzard controversy, it really died out, and it sucks because it was such a cool thing.
It was
like,
interesting.
It was so fun.
Because I felt like I watched it a little bit. I watched the first season of it, and that was around the time I was kind of really into Overwatch. I was a Diva main.
Cool.
And I was... Don't laugh at me. Diva's sick, all right?
He was cool.
He was awesome.
I snickered. You can keep going. You didn't have to address
He
me.
heard it. He's like, no.
No, you come back to this.
So I felt like you learned watching, you know, how to play certain,
Oh my God,
certain characters or certain heroes, excuse me.
Right.
And then nowadays, I feel like Call of Duty is really picking up steam. And the only reason I mention that is because Call of Duty...
It's dropping off now.
It's dropping off just a bit, but Call of Duty is bringing back the classic esports teams that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Optic.
Yes,
FaZe.
Optic, even though Optic left Chicago, and I'm pretty mad about it.
Optic is now Texas, right?
Yes.
Yes. Because they merged with...
Yeah, because they merged, and then we were like, oh, we can't even root for Optic anymore, and then they, like, kind of separated, so, like, they're kind of doing their own thing now, which is great. They're still owned by the same company, but, like, at least they're a separate team. I actually went to Call of Duty, the championships this year.
For Cold War, right?
I believe so. Whatever the last one was.
Yeah, Cold War.
I don't know what they were playing, if I'm being that honest.
Weren't they still playing Warzone though?
No, Warzone's different.
Yeah, Warzone's different.
Was Warzone having? So Warzone was having its own.
Yeah, they just had the last dance of Verdansk.
Yeah,
Who cares?
it's such a mood.
It's Verdansk.
Like, I love video games. Call of Duty bores the ever-living heck out of me. And sorry, I was avoiding swearing.
No, look, there's no shame in saying that.
Yeah, it's just so visually boring to me.
Yeah.
And like, I'm all about visuals in video games, and like, I get it, the competitive thing is there, and like, so many guys grew up playing Call of Duty. I also like to tell a story about Call of Duty. I used to like, I guess we didn't really date. I used to hook up with this dude, and I met him on Tinder.
Oh, that hurt me. Oh, I just swallowed a bit of it and was stuck there. Like,
But so
Call of Duty went to
so
Tinder.
So I met this guy on Tinder, and he was a time. But I used to go over to his place, and
Where
he
is
used
this
to be
story
like,
going?
he used to be like, you're a gamer girl, right? Play Call of Duty. And he would hand me a controller,
he's one of
and I
those,
was like, first of all, I'm a PC gamer. Second of all, I hate Call of Duty. And he was just so persistent on this. And so, like, and that's how my experience my entire life with men in Call of Duty has been, like, you need to play this to prove you're a gamer. Like, so I have this vendetta against Call of Duty.
I've never seen Call of Duty as a gamer, like
that's the gamer
yeah,
validation.
Honestly,
It
if that,
shouldn't be.
if that's the case, no, but if that's the case, give you Contra.
No.
Like,
Give me anything.
So-
I'll take anything.
I'm
I
gonna-
would have literally been like, "Oh, here's Contra. What's the Konami code?
Literally, you fucking...
Type it in, and then I know you're a gamer kid. Tell me."
There's a reason why, though. I think there's a reason why, because it really kicked off after Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
So I think that's where I was like really invested into it. I recently got back into it, but now that I'm older, more experienced with life and stuff like that. Yes, I am. Yeah. Playing Call of Duty, I've realized it's really a brain dead game.
It is.
Because I'm literally sitting there going like, okay. Like, my motor skill functions are just on autopilot the entire time.
I mean,
it really depends, because that is the reason why I like because if you just play Verdansk, let's say you go into Verdansk or whatever, or even if you play multiplayer, that's very much autopilot. You're just running around, everything like that.
Just finding something to move.
I feel like I feel like Rebirth. That's the reason why Rebirth kind of took off so well, because it's a smaller map. You have all these different things. You're coming back, so it's all about grab a gun, shoot. Like grab a gun and try to do as much as you can.
Oh, rotate this way, but it's not really.
Try to get, and the rotation doesn't matter as much because it's such a small map.
Yeah,
smaller map. The ironic thing is that we were so excited about having giant maps in these games and making them like 150 people can play all at once, and then at a certain point you're going like, dude, I can't find nobody. Like, this map is huge, man.
I'm looting for like 10 minutes, and I'm not. Oh, how did you end? Dude, some of these streamers, man.
Which one? Man, this is like the last circle. I haven't seen anybody. Did no one land in here? Or like, what is going on?
Yeah. So, I'll put it this way. I'm kind of the only reason I mentioned Call of Duty League was, like I said, some of these esports teams that are like kicking back up again. Yeah. Optic was my favorite as a kid.
It is my boyfriend's favorite team.
I didn't care much for Optic until Z-Laner signed up with them. Yeah. Like this week, I think. Because Laner is my favorite streamer.
Cool. I fell in love with a few of them because I was just like, I really like a Beezy, even though he's on phase. But like, I just kind of like, I can get into anything basically. Like if you, for example, if you take me to enough events of a certain thing, I'm like, sure, I'll get into this. I don't really care. So when I went to Call of Duty League, I just got into it. I got a little drunk and I like was like, I was like, FaZe is my team, and I was like, I didn't really know what was going on.
You get somebody drunk, they're into anything.
Oh, I know. It's great.
I'm not really into soccer, but I got taken to a Galaxy game and I was just like,
Come with me next time, because I get no. I almost sprained my ankle at one of those games, dude. I almost died.
So
it was. I'll tell you right now.
A straight hooligan?
No,
is that what happened?
It was. I'll tell you a little short story. It was one of those rival games. It was the first year that LAFC got inaugurated, and they were playing at Dignity Health Sports Park, and we were down 3-1 at the time. We came back 4-3. The last goal, I swear to you, I remember it visually because it was as the clouds opened up and God put a light directly at the goal. Ibrahimovic netted one of the most beautiful goals of all time. I fell off the bench bent my ankle the wrong way, but somehow my adrenaline like kicked back up. I picked up my fiance. I was like raising her up in the air, and she's just like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, dude, I can't even experience. It was one of the best moments of my life.
That's great.
And that's with soccer, right?
That's with soccer.
Honestly, I didn't really get into soccer until the very first time I ever watched the World Cup. When I watched the World Cup. When I watched the World Cup once, and then I was like, I'm not really into World Cup. My boss at the time goes, just pick a country. Pick a country that you really, really like, and then just stick with them the whole time and just root for them. Yeah. And at that point, I was like, all right, cool. So then we started putting money on it, and that's when I got really into it. I'm like, Germany's dope. And then he goes, all right, cool. Put $100 in the pot. Germany wins, you get whatever the pot was.
Yeah. Germany blows now.
It's that's exactly how I deal with esports. If I don't know the esport very well, is I pick a player and I'm like, I really like this player. Exactly. And I follow them and I get really into it. And then when I go to the thing, I'm like, yeah, I love this team, I guess. But it's also one of those things of like, I really like the idea of esports. I think it's a fascinating concept.
It's still in an infancy stage.
It is, and it's so interesting to watch. And I love beyond anything when I go to an esports tournament and they do those stupid intros with the players, because the players are the nerdiest fucking guys I've ever seen in my life, and they're like. With like a they're doing like the sports poses, you know, and like they're walking out and they're doing this, and I'm like, you weigh 120 pounds,
They are walking out like it's a WWE fight.
Yeah, they're like ready to go.
Like they're just like,
and it is my favorite thing in the whole world.
So
or just seeing,
and they play like a fight song, and they're like ready, and people are like, yeah, this guy, and I'm like, this guy has a good thumb, and I am so confused, but I love it.
I love it. Thumbs.
Exactly. I'm like, I love it.
No, I didn't realize that because I watched him to Tapman a lot, and someone donated him and asked him, "Are your hands insured?" He's like, "Yeah, I think my lawyer did." I'm like, "Wait, that's a thing."
Yeah, they insure their hands.
So let's say that if he were to close the door on his car,
Yeah.
Or like his wife were to close the door on his car and he would accidentally get his thumb. Well, he can't compete.
Yeah.
So he
That's
has to be.
insane.
So
Yeah, their team managers make them do hand workouts
yeah.
to make sure
To
they're
stretch
like
'em out.
stretch them out.
Bruh.
They do very specific things. They have physical therapists for every team.
Yeah.
My
that,
career
like, do
choices
Well, so that way,
are
because other.
wrong.
They also have hand warmers
Yeah.
in their like.
Oh, I've
in
seen
the
that.
class.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they can't.
Well, because also like they can get carpal tunnel. So
Yeah.
you have to care for them and everything like that. Make sure.
Oh my god!
It's
I wonder
fun,
where
yeah.
I would have been because I was hit up by Optic at one point when Modern Warfare 2 was a thing,
Oh, that's so cool.
and I would. Oh my god! Dang it, man! That was. I could have been living the life.
You couldn't even.
Well, haven't you ever noticed that you'll see some of them and they have like specific setups?
Yeah.
It's like you'll see and it's like ergonomic, like they'll
Yeah.
have like a rest here that's like it's
Yeah,
specifically
they bring
like
their
this.
own like mouses and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's their equipment. It's what they do.
That's how.
Would have been a
but-
professional
but-
COD player, man.
But the thing is,
You
that's
should
what-
have been. It would have been super cool.
Well, the interesting thing about that though is that's also where mischief comes in though,
yeah.
because that's where a number of people have been caught putting like aimbots or different stuff
Yeah.
like that because they've been left alone with the computers, and then they'll like add an aimbot or add walls to the game.
Wall hacks.
Yeah, and then like
It's crazy.
and yeah, it's crazy.
So-
It is
insane.
crazy how intense it is. It's just we're living in a weird world. Where, like this is a reality, and I love it.
I got one more game to talk about before we interview you more away from the video game
The
stuff.
Oasis.
Yes, and then
Ridiculous.
we'll go back into streaming in a bit.
It's
But
okay. I'll just talk about video games all night.
oh no, it's great. It's such a great topic. But I do want to mention a video game that you were into, and it's one that we both used to play.
Oh, yeah.
Because the esports team or the esports
Yeah.
for that one was like great until recently.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege. I loved
Yeah.
the Siege tournaments and stuff because
Yeah.
it was so great.
Me and my friends. That was like the only time I would watch esports.
Yeah.
Like tournaments.
I feel like Rainbow Six Siege it's fun, but it doesn't have the playability that like other games do.
Yeah.
Now
No.
it doesn't.
It gets very repetitive very fast.
it's only fun if you have like a close group of friends.
Yeah.
And that's
Playing.
it. And that's
Yeah.
the reason why you keep playing.
Because like
Yeah.
I only play it with friends. I only started playing it because one of my viewers bought it for me. Because
wow.
I did not. I was like, I'm not buying
I'm not
Rainbow
gonna
Six
throw money
Siege.
down on
Like,
that.
I was like, absolutely not. And like I'm not big on FPS games to begin with, but they were like, play with us, and I was like, that's fine. And also I wanted to check it out because I get compared a lot to Valkyrie and IQ. Constantly. It is a constant thing of like you look like Valkyrie or you look like IQ, which are like the two blonde
yeah,
characters.
it's only the
IQ's
two
elite
blonde
skin.
Yeah,
characters.
of
that's
course
it.
it is.
They're like-
Why don't you do
one of them
IQ's
has tattoos though.
Do
One of them
IQ's
has
elite
tattoos,
skin.
though. What?
IQ's elite skin.
I don't know what that looks like.
So her elite skin is a full-on 80s jogger.
Yes.
Look,
Okay, I
yeah.
have seen this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I might one day. I mean, I have friends who like have military gear. I might just steal a bunch of it and just like one day do something like that.
Valkyrie is the U.S. forces, right?
She's
Yeah.
like
Camera, yeah.
Well,
I haven't played Siege in for like a while.
Anyway.
I don't. Yeah.
for well, because the only reason I started playing Siege is because I picked up that Ubisoft pass. And
Okay.
and it came with it, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, well, why
It's
not?
a fun game to play, and it was fun tournament-wise when they actually knew how to advertise it. But I felt
Yes.
like as the seasons progressed, it hasn't been doing well.
No.
Now, the only reason I bring it up is because it's a game that's like slowly dying out.
Yeah.
Even like in like one of the content creators, because I used to follow like Varsity Gaming, your boy Roy, Coconut Bra. Those are like some of the big ones. I forget the one, but she's sponsored or she's with Space Station Gaming, Brittany something I forget.
Okay.
They've been posting stuff on like Twitch, the analytics. It's like 7K average
Yeah.
for Siege
Yeah.
viewers. So that means that the tournaments aren't even doing that well anymore.
But
No.
you can even see that for, like we were saying earlier, Call of Duty, how it's dying off. More people are drifting back to Apex, and the
Yes.
audience is kind of like ricocheting.
But that was the
between
Nick
two.
Merckx effect, I feel, because Nick Merckx was like bagging heavy on Call of Duty Warzone.
Well, it was the anti-cheat. It was the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah,
that
no
there's
one cared. Yeah.
the fact that there's no anti-cheat on Call of Duty, and at least there's something on Apex.
Apex.
There's at least like an anti-cheat. It's not great.
No.
There's still cheaters inside of Apex. There's still walls. There's still everything like that. But at least it's not as you don't get it every game.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's this thing of like it's the interesting thing with streaming is like you kind of have to know when to move on.
Yes.
You know, you build this audience around a thing, but you have to be confident that they will move on with you, because otherwise you are going to die out because of relevance. Like your relevance is just gonna completely die.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those interesting things. Like you see it time and time again where like streamers can't move on and they lose Like, because Ninja was the top streamer at one point, but he's totally lost that because he only does Fortnite and he moved to you. He made so many like decisions, and he just was like so confident he would stay top.
Twitch to Mixer to Twitch again.
Yes.
And that move back wasn't even big.
Well,
It wasn't even big, and,
Mixer,
like-
Mixer was they thought that Mixer thought it was going to survive because it had Ninja. And then that was like
Yeah, okay.
All right.
no, but that was
It's kind of true. It is very true.
But I remember when Mixer came out at E3 2018, they were there, and everybody was like, "What the hell is Mixer?" And Ninja was there, and like he was like signing autographs, and he was doing a bunch of other stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, like Mixer's like the brand new streaming service, like the brand new streaming thing, and like Ninja is like their main streamer now." And it's like, okay, but like none of the streamers that got on it, none of them liked the platform. It was not easy to use.
No.
It was like it was so dumb, the fact that Twitch was a lot easier to just get,
Yeah, but the
viewership.
UI in Mixer was a little bit better than Twitch's at the time.
But the thing is that you can have a better UI, if the audience isn't there, who cares?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So my question to you, Cece, is, with Siege, because you're not super familiar with it, right? Or
I've played it.
you've played it.
I know it.
She's dabbled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've dabbled in
where
Siege.
could we be seeing? Because I think the biggest problem that a lot of people have now, like in terms of like marketing stuff, like
Yeah.
how is it going to progress forward? Right now, it's in a position where it's like, it's dead. This game is
oh
dead.
my god, completely.
And they just released the season. They're going to release the
Yeah.
season actually. Holy crap!
There's a new season. Yeah, I saw that recently.
I didn't. I
Really?
remember I was into the operators at some point. I was like, "Oh, dope! We're gonna get a new one."
Yeah, they've been. I think this is like the 10th season or something like that. They're
The last operator I cared about was the guy that threw the hydro bombs at the wall, and it like slowly comes out. I forget his name.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
you know a game is dying if you can then just buy all the operators.
Yeah,
Like there's a pack where it's just
Yeah.
like, we have 30 operators. You want to buy them?
it was an interesting concept.
It's $10.
though.
Yeah.
It's $10.
It's an interesting concept because they wanted like 100 operators at some point. I'm like, it's great. So my question to you is like, where do you feel this is going to head in terms of like marketing stuff? Because this
Yeah.
was one of the leading, esport tournaments, amongst that crowd. Like I said, Overwatch is huge, but
Yeah.
when it came to Siege had massive tournaments in different parts of the world.
For sure.
They had, a Worlds tournament. They
Right.
had many like conferences and stuff, and now just no one cares. So where do you see this kind of heading into?
So it's that same concept of like people just streamers and professionals need to know when it's time to move on,
Yeah.
right? Because like we saw this a lot with Overwatch League. When Overwatch League started dying out, a lot of streamers, especially DPS players, moved to Valorant, and that was a smart move. It was really smart of them because like Overwatch League is dying out. Move with the times, And the funny thing is though, also with Siege dying out a little bit more and not having that Twitch audience, it's a really good game for beginner streamers to pick up. Because beginner streamers want to start streaming games that are around that like under 10K, but more than like 1,000 viewership, right? Because that means even if you have 5 viewers, you move to the top of recommended, right? So you want to get into those kind of like middle range categories. You don't want to stream League of Legends because League of Legends
It's a giant pool.
has hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
viewers.
Giant pool. Yeah.
So you want to get into those games that have that niche audience and then convince them to stick around. And that's like, so like once a week, like I do Pokemon streams, right? Pokemon does
Nuzlocke.
not have
Yeah.
a huge audience, but it has that nostalgia and I am entertaining enough that people are like, I will stick around for other stuff.
right.
And that's like a super smart way to deal with it. So games that are on the way out are great for new streamers to pick up.
I
Well, the other
never
thing-
thought of it that way.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
interesting,
But the other
actually.
thing is that I feel like also streamers have to figure out what are they doing on stream.
Yeah, well, so I've always said this is that to stream, right, to have a successful stream, you either have to be very entertaining or you have to be very good at the game. And you have to find one of those sides.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you are in a weird race where you're not good at the game and you're not entertaining, and who wants to watch that?
Well, yeah, because I remember when I was talking to a buddy of mine, he was like, yeah, we're going to try to do tournaments, or we're going to try and do this. And I was like, you're not that good at Call of Duty.
Yes. No, it's true though. Some people have to realize that.
No. But the thing is that because what I was
then be funny. And be funny while you're being decent.
Yeah, be decent. But what I was telling him is, I feel like you're the way that you're trying to move your stream is the fact that you're trying to be we're the best at Call of Duty, but you can't do that when you die 5 minutes into the game.
Oh no.
And you can't do that.
I am very bad at video games, right?
Siege immediately starts the round.
Yeah,
kill that spawn.
But
it's actually
but the thing is that if you do stuff that's dumb, that then gets you killed, and it's funny to watch.
Yes.
Of like,
Timmy dying off the ledges.
Like Tim, honestly, at this point, I really feel like Tim's doing it on purpose. I 100%.
He might be.
There's no way in hell that somebody can do that so many times and always forget.
Did you see the clip where he like jumped off a helicopter, like maybe not even like 2 stories up, and it still downed him?
That's hilarious. But the thing is that you have to still be entertaining.
You do.
Yeah.
If you do goofy things, like I think we did it, we weren't on stream, and then my buddy was laughing because he was like, this would have been a perfect stream of we made rules in Call of Duty. Like you can only use a pistol.
Yes.
So if you pick up a pistol, that's it. You like if there's a shotgun there, we can't use it and everything else. And it was so funny because I was about to die, and then my buddy's down. There's only one guy left. I then see that there's a machine gun on the ground, and I pick it up and kill the guy real quick. And he goes, hey, what did I just hear? And I go, nothing. And he's like, no. I heard it. I heard you use a machine gun. And I'm like, no.
No, it's just my controller like going really fast.
I got a mean trigger finger, and he's like, no, I'm out. And he just exited out of the game. He exited out. And,
oh man!
But that's a hilarious moment where afterwards he was like, oh, damn, I should have been recording that. And I was like, dude, that would have been an amazing clip. Mm-hmm. You should have had that. That's hilarious.
No, so often I hear people complaining online, and they complain a lot about like they're like I have one viewer, blah blah blah, but like they don't have an about page, they don't have interesting channel rewards, they don't use their other social media. They like there's so much you can do to grow your stream, and they just don't do it, and they're like, why am I not getting views? And it's like do your research. Yeah. There's also like so many tips and tricks like the one I just said that people don't even think about. And you can figure that out just by watching streams and just like coming to realizations. It does help that I work in the industry, but
you know how everything goes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think that also having, because people really try to go on streams and be themselves as an early streamer.
Yeah, for sure.
And the thing is that I feel like a lot of people don't understand that in order to do this, you need to get whatever it is that you think is funny or whatever you think is entertaining about yourself, and you need to try and amplify that to like 11. And you need to have a persona while you're on stream, and then when the camera turns off and your stream ends, turn it off.
Because
everything else.
It's one of these things too where like if a new viewer comes into your stream and you aren't saying a word and you're just staring at the game and you look bored, they're not watching your stream. They're not sticking around. I don't care if you have a chat or not. Sometimes I don't have nobody talking in my chat, and I just talk. I just like word vomit things out, and then like it's entertaining because people just want to hear you talk.
Wait, so you stream, Cece? What?
Oh, crazy.
What? That's
nuts.
So crazy.
That's so
crazy. What is your Twitch?
Oh my God, it's Triforce_of_pro. It's not that I'm a pro. It's short for procrastination. A lot of people do not know that.
Are you that middle triangle that's empty in the middle of the Triforce?
Exactly. That was the joke. That was the joke for the longest time.
Is it really? I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, because I'm the triangle that never showed up, you know? Because like I'm too busy procrastinating.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, no, so that was like the joke for the longest time, and then it just like it was the username was way too long, so I changed it to pro for gaming because it's also a joke that people are like, you're a pro gamer, right? And
Triforce of pro, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm such a pro gamer, guys. Like I'm very bad.
So
I'm very bad at the games.
I've been following your streams for a while.
Yes.
And I've recently, because I get the Amazon Prime thing.
Oh, nice. Thank
you. So I've been like giving
it to
Twitch
like, Prime sub.
I just like, it's just sitting there.
You sling that free subscription just.
Hey, you know what? It's sitting there. I'm like,
you might as well put your Prime subscription to give
exactly.
Use.
So I've been watching it. And I'm like, yeah, it's interesting because I think I've seen you. I was watching you before you were like hitting that 1,000 follower goal.
Yeah.
And then seeing your growth, I even mentioned this like way before. I'm just like, damn, like you're growing rapidly.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah, you had like your channel rewards. You have a good viewer base. You have a great following base. What kind of like tell us a bit about like your streaming
Oh God.
your streaming career, I guess.
So yeah, I started streaming during the pandemic because I just really liked the idea of streamers. I'd always wanted to do it, but I never had a PC. I never had the setup, so I just like I eventually bought all that, and I was just like, fuck it, you know, like I'm gonna be playing these games anyway. I might as well just put it out there, like, which is everybody's thought.
Yeah.
And then I realized how much work it is and how much stuff goes into it.
Especially during the pandemic when everyone was buying
yeah, where
capture cards and
everybody-
webcams.
Yes, where
Yeah, so
everybody was streaming.
everybody at a certain point, I think everybody just went Twitch.
Twitch.
I can do this.
Fine. I can do this.
I can
can
make
do it.
money on Twitch, and I don't know why.
It's
Or,
so
like-
real. But then I was like, I need to find like interesting stuff to do, and that's something I really like. I try to keep my streams interesting. I try to do like monthly events. I try to do like very specific stuff. And that's what keeps people around, because I also do drunk games. I get drunk a lot on stream, and people really like that. They can make me take shots with channel points, which is super fun for them. And I do a lot of weird garbage. I've done like somersaults on my bed drunk and like fallen on my ass, and like I dyed my hair once on stream while drinking wine.
Oh, wow.
Because that's a channel point redemption. If you get 100,000 channel points, which means you watch me for practically like a year, you can choose my hair color. So some guy made me dye it purple, and I was drinking wine.
That's
and we
why?
dyed it purple. Yeah, because I had purple
Brian's
hair.
like,
Yeah, he's like, I remember the purple hair. So like I do a lot of stupid stuff that like I try to keep it super interesting, because I know I'm not good at the games. I am so bad at them.
Just
It's
gonna do
insane.
random
Then I'm
crap.
just gonna be
But the
weird.
thing is that being terrible at it is also entertaining.
Oh yes, and as long
Yeah.
as I acknowledge that, and I'm
Yes.
like a little drunk while I'm bad at it, and
Yeah.
like I do that, I do so much. I try to do so much on stream. It's a time sometimes, and sometimes a lot of people get discouraged because like your viewer count is low, and like you can't consistent viewership's hard, and it's really difficult.
I know, what was it? I know the ones that are really funny are the ones that I always try to go like, we're going to do a 24-hour stream.
I've done 2 of those. They suck
and-
so much.
It was funny though, because when my buddy was doing it, he had a rotation of cast.
Yes,
He had
so I did that.
he had a cast rotation of, he was like, all right, can you be on from 4 all the way until 8?
Yes.
And we're gonna be playing these games.
Yeah.
And he had like a schedule of like, this is the games I'm gonna play. Because he was like, "There's no way I could play 24 hours of Call of Duty."
Oh, same.
There's no way I could do this.
I put
After
people,
5 hours, I put a wall up, and I'm like, I can't
I
do this
cannot
anymore.
do this.
I will say this: your cast of people that you play with is really great because you guys interact. I always value a streamer that's able to like clip things. If you can clip a stream,
Yes.
then you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And the one that we were mentioning before we started recording was the one of the people you play with. You guys did a montage of certain tweets that he was liking. And that's a great clip because it wasn't like the clip edit didn't make the clip. It was your reaction in the background that made it. I'm like, that's exactly how you should be doing it. I tried my hand at streaming. I just don't have people that are like very compatible with me except you. Because I was playing with my buddy. I play Warzone with a buddy of mine. And he can't tolerate me getting angry at him. Because here's the thing. So I'm very... If no one wants to lead, I have to lead in certain parts. So I'll tell him. And he's not the best. He's good in Cold War, but when it comes to Warzone, I'm like, dude, push this garage. Why were you not behind me? And he's just like, oh, well, you didn't say anything. What the... do you think I was saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Nick and I were playing Warzone, and we played... recently when they did the Nokatami, or what is it called again? The
Nokatami Tower?
Yeah.
Nakatami.
So we did that event, and I wasn't streaming then, but him and I have that chemistry where we like can go back and forth with each other.
There was I'm almost, because he was what he was telling me was push, and he kept telling me push, and I'm like, what does it look like I'm doing? And, like, we're bickering like an old married couple as we're pinned. And like he's like, oh, there's one over the left, there's one on the right. What do you want me to do about it? Like, I'm shooting the right one. You shoot the left one then. And then we got out of the gunfight, and then immediately we were like, oh, we survived. And not even 2 seconds later, we got sniped. And just lost the game.
I think the thing that I remember the most is I get very aggressive, especially with competitive games.
Yes. You should do.
If I'm very aggressive with it, I usually, because I grew up with Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
So the language is
That's no
very.
excuse.
No. I grew up in the Wild West of like online video gaming and like everything.
In all fair, listen to a lot of like Twitch streamers, and they're as soon as they see like a hacker in the screen in the thing, they'll even say the end lobby is going to turn into a Call of Duty 2 lobby.
Yeah.
Real quick.
So
because it's just a lot of hate speak. It's a lot of go kill yourself. There's a lot of things that are in that where it's like, oh, this got dark quick.
My favorite insult to throw around is.
Ah.
Because that's like the old school
I like how you are trying to use that as a describer, but you're gonna have to bleep it.
Yeah, I know.
A female cat.
It's a female cat.
That's when you use the meow.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There you go. So the same game that we were playing, we were getting pinned down by 2 people on a tower, and since I was sniping. He was just kind of like pushing and stuff. Every time I downed one, I'm just like bitch, and he stopped me. He's like, "Why do you keep calling him bitch?" I'm like, "Cause they're bitches. What do you want me to say?" So that kind of chemistry exists, and I feel like you have that same chemistry with the cast, and that's what makes it interesting.
Sure.
The other one that was really funny was what was it? I got a death com where the guy told me where he's like, "Oh, stupid gay," and I immediately went, "How did he know?" And Bryan goes, "What?" Like. Because he's only hearing my side of this conversation. He isn't hearing. Yeah. He's not hearing the other guy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Bryan's like, "What are they talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, he called me gay." It was just like, and he put the conversation together, and he just started dying. And I'm like, "Okay, I need you to stop laughing, and I need you to shoot. Start shooting."
Oh my god, no! 2 of my favorite, I guess, insults. So they're like 2 of my favorite ones, and it's because of my current boyfriend. He started streaming because I encouraged him and helped him out.
Right.
But he says something all the time where he just goes like, "I can go play in traffic," and he says it all the time, and it's become one of our favorite things. That's and he's like, "Yeah, I know. It's such a good thing to say.
So random.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Go play in traffic." And then my other one is from my friend Zoe, who does a lot of my channel art, and she says
great channel art, by the way.
Yeah, after every game, if she wins, she's like, "You're just intimidated by my massive meat." So her nickname has become Massive Meat, on certain streams.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we have a lot of really unique insults, which I think also make it really funny. We try to come up with stuff, because sometimes stuff also just rolls off the tongue, because we get sick of saying the same stuff over and over again.
Of course.
Because we get frustrated every day when we game. It's impossible not. We play we just started playing League of Legends again too, which is a mistake. But we.
You decided. Wait. So you started sinning again? You started sinning again?
Yeah. I've been a sinner, but this increased it.
My buddies, whenever they get into Discord, all I hear is one dude go, "Who wants to sin?" and then you'll just hear a bunch of people go, "Oh, dude, no." And then he'll be like, "Oh, come on, man. It's Saturday. We can go to church tomorrow." Let's go.
That's a good one. I love that. Also, I don't know. I play with so many great people that also come up with very unique stuff. The funny thing is, a lot of them I met through streaming. A lot of them I was not very close with until I started streaming, and they fit into this weird cast that I built so well that I was like, well, I gotta keep you around. I can't get rid of you.
It's so funny to see that, because you mentioned it right now. With you met people through streaming, you play well with them and all that other stuff. And you see that even at the highest of the high tier level.
Yeah.
When we think about streamers, some of the big ones, Doc, Tim the Tap Man, you think of Nick Merckx. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Courage, Ninja, Valkyrie, Pokemon, Dr. Lupo. Yeah, all of them. I never would have thought, because I was really into it when it was Doc, Nick, and Tim. And then Z Laner popped in because of Doc.
But I feel like the 4 of them are funny because Nick takes things too seriously. Tim is terrible at the game.
Doc is just
sarcastic. And he just doesn't he makes fun of Nick because he's taking it so seriously. And then and Doc understands this is a video game.
But recently, now you have Z Laner, who started out as a low streamer, playing with Tim on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's because that chemistry works. Z is really good at the game.
Yeah.
And Tim is just funny to listen to. Yeah, he's just Tim.
Yeah. We have because we have my friend Cody, who Cody is so angry. In so many ways, but it works really well because I don't really get angry at games. I'm like there for a good time, not a long time. And so and Cody gets so mad about everything. And then we have my friend Cooper, who literally is like he's the youngest of all of us, but he acts like a dad. So he's like very caring and nice and like very sweet. And it's like, you'll get him next time, champ. And like and so like we have these varying personalities, but that's why it works, because if we were all angry all the time, people would hate it. They would get sick of it. They would just be annoyed.
Yeah, the greatest thing is always whenever a team dies, you're doing real well, and for whatever game you're playing, the team dies, and then immediately somebody goes, I just want to throw this out there, and I think it's your fault. I don't know why it starts an argument that is always hilarious. Yeah. It's just like, oh no, that's not my fault. Yes, was I doing this? Absolutely, but that didn't get us killed. It was so and so that got us killed.
That's what Nick Merckx does a lot, and I used to back when he used to do Warzone with Tim a lot. It was just like, I'm not going to admit I'm going to did fault. Yes, maybe I kind of caused it, but I ain't going to admit it. And it's always so great to see that. But yeah, no, it's like it's that chemistry that like really works well that I feel like a lot of streamers kind of miss, because that's the thing. People think that streaming is picking up the game, turn on the camera, get going. Yeah. No. It's not. It's like you have to have the energy to do it. And it's so much energy to put out there.
It is so much. That's why G Fuel exists. As we all drink G Fuel.
Well,
not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. Oh, you're Ghost.
I went against the grain.
But yeah, that's why it exists, because like even though like you're not like going to play a sport, you're practically taking pre-workout is what you're doing. Yeah. So that you can scream for 4 hours because it's 4 hours of conversation. Well, because if you think about it, you don't go home from work and talk for 4 hours.
Exactly.
It's exhausting. People don't think about that. Yeah, so you need a little bit of a boost. You need some people with you. Like it really helps out. Yeah. Because that energy is just where it's at.
That's why you see streamers, they're eating. They're
doing weird stuff all the time.
Yeah, they're in the background doing jumping jacks as the game's loading in. They're just like, dude, I gotta wake up. I gotta get into it. I gotta get into this.
Andy was freaked out when we moved in together. She did not understand how comms worked. And at the time I was playing a lot of Siege. So she would tell me, like, she would go to sleep at like 10 or 10:30, and then she wakes up in the morning and is like, babe, you keep saying things that freak me out. Sometimes I think that someone's breaking into the house, and I'm just like, well, it's freaking Siege. What do you want me to do? Oh, yeah. Guys behind the door. Yeah. You want me to just be like, hey, guys, just fair warning, there's someone back there. No, it's like, someone's behind there. Push right now. Push. And like, you're throwing comms.
Breach right now.
What the fuck were you doing?
There was a lot of that when me and Bryan play. Oh, yeah. There was a lot of that. Yeah.
What was the story that when you and your friend were playing with Bryan, he was trying to talk to Bryan, but Bryan wasn't listening because it was.
Oh!
Wait, Bryan wasn't.
Bryan Rebirth. It was on Rebirth when the guy was like, move your ping, move your fucking ping.
Oh yeah. So my buddy, we were playing with my bud, and then he's trying to talk to Bryan, and he's trying to be as nice as possible because he doesn't know Bryan, and then he was like, hey bro, move your ping. And Bryan's ping is literally on top of the guy's head. God. So he's trying to snipe, and all he's seeing is ping. It's all he's seeing. He's just seeing the ping right there. And then he's like, hey, bro, move your ping. And then all of a sudden, and then you hear him go, bro, move your ping. Bro, move it again. Move the goddamn ping! I swear to God! And then all of a sudden he's just like, and then Bryan's like, who is he yelling at? And he's like, oh, I'm yelling at you, shit! Move the fucking ping! And then you hear Bryan, he's like, oh, my bad. And then he just clicks.
Oh my God.
But then Bryan, you said your side of the story. You were like, what?
I thought it was the rando we were playing with because he didn't sound at all like him. So I was just like, oh, it's just okay, whatever. Like I didn't know I got yelled at by the rando.
Some random guy just yelling at me.
It was my buddy, and then my buddy, like after Bryan leaves, he was like, oh, does he not listen? Is he deaf? I yelled at him 4 times.
Call of Duty's a freaking loud ass game, dude.
No, but he was so frustrated because he was like, he goes, I hope he didn't take that offense. I was trying to be nice.
I started out.
I told him 5 times nicely to move it, and at a certain point, I got frustrated.
Dude, I play COD. I don't get offended easily.
Yeah.
It's
just like,
COD.
but it's that moment of
Yeah.
like you're just like, oh,
You keep repeating yourself,
I keep
yeah.
repeating myself, and he's just not listening. But
We're
it was
a team.
funny. But it was funny because he kept trying to talk to Bryan, and Bryan wasn't responding. Like he would be like, all right, dude, so go move. He would ping and he would go move over there, and then I would go, Bryan, move over there, and Bryan would go, okay, cool. And he wouldn't move until I said something, and he's like, your friend needs to listen. Like, he needs to stop only listening when you talk and help me out here.
God.
I have terrible listening skills sometimes when it comes to competitiveness.
And it's Call of Duty is a game where you have to communicate.
Yeah.
You understand that,
Warzone
right?
is Warzone, not COD. Warzone.
Yeah,
There's a
Warzone.
difference.
Yeah.
So you stream.
Yes.
Would you say as a hobby because you like it?
Yeah, I mean, it started as a hobby, and now like I'm making a little bit of money off of it. Like nothing crazy. I can't do it professionally, but I do it like 4 to 5 times a week now.
Wow.
Yeah, I do that. I literally do too many things. Because I work a full-time job, and then I work, as you know me through the bar. Guildhall.
Shout out to Guildhall.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Guildhall, my favorite bar in the world.
It's such a great place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
work there. So I work there on the weekends every once in a while. And then I also make like a cosplay a week, do a photo shoot over the weekend, and then stream 5 days a week.
I want to talk to you about
So,
that
like,
afterwards. 'Cause,
I do a
yeah.
crazy amount of things.
You're very busy.
I'm very busy.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like being busy. I've always been that person that like I thrive on stress. It's a real problem. I'm gonna die at 35.
Bryan
but
Bryan does not.
Brian.
I
I
love
work 2
stress.
jobs. I edit
Yep.
the podcast. I'm the
Yep.
production manager.
It's a big
Kill me.
mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like you do so much stuff and people don't even think about it because they're like, oh, you stream, like that's gotta be like all you do. And I'm like, no, I work 9 to 6.
Yeah.
And then I come home and I stream, and I like because I moved my stream back half an hour because I started going back to the office.
Yeah, you have a schedule, right?
Yeah, and now I kind of have a schedule, and people expected me to stream at 7 p.m., right? But I went back to the office, and I have to drive home, and I'm like, guys, I need to start at 7:30 because I need an hour to myself.
Yeah.
If that is too much to ask, like every day I would like 1
Yeah,
hour
yeah.
where I dedicate some time to eating and myself.
Basically
Thank
staying
you
alive.
so much. So it's just, I mean, it's a lot, but I really love it. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's
So-
just where I'm at now.
The reason I bring it up is because, like I said, a lot of people, or like Nick said, a lot of people really tried to stream during the pandemic. You guys
Yes.
were staying home.
Yeah.
No one was really working because they were laid off or they were on leave or whatever it was, and they picked up streaming. Webcams were up like 4 or 5 times the price.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Yeah.
I got a capture card at market value
Cool.
before everything left.
Anything that had to do with like PC parts were just up.
Gone.
Dude,
Still,
yeah.
they're
nowadays.
Still,
Yeah.
it's still
Crazy.
pretty high. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still
My
pretty high.
PC's running with a 1060 and it's still going strong.
Yeah.
It's that moment where you're like, oh, I think like 2 more sticks of RAM should be.
All the specs are up to date except that 1060.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, come on. But recently,
SSD will fix this. SSD will fix this.
no. But Washington Post came out with an interview or with an article
Yes.
recently where they were saying that certain streamers were earning a certain amount of money that wasn't expected, and this came out after Twitch had a massive leak.
Yeah.
Where all the not the salaries because they get paid out, but
Yeah, it was based on their subscriber count, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't actually all the money they make too, because like as a person who works in esports marketing, I know how much these people get paid for campaigns and stuff, and it is not a small amount.
It's
It is actually crazy what we will pay someone for one post on like Instagram, which is fair because it gets the views. It gets more views than a television ad these days, so like it's worth it to these
Can
companies.
you average out? Could you say how much? Like
I
average?
thousands.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
a fair amount.
Yeah, thousands. It's
And when
a-
you say thousands, it's thousands.
thousands,
Yeah.
Thousands.
and
That's-
then we're talking like even small streamers, like 1,000 maybe minimum.
But
like
it's the same thing if like I were to get a soccer player to
Yeah.
do an ad.
it's the
or
same
a
thing,
Puma
and
or
people are just
whatever.
realizing the actual like view count that these
Yeah.
people have and influence that they have over people. But it's one of these things where it's like I think this article is so stupid because it's saying basically surprise, gamers make money. We know that.
Yeah.
The only people who don't know that are people like maybe in their like 50s who don't know what Twitch
That
is.
don't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't watch gamers. They don't understand the
Yeah.
appeal.
They
And
just
so
see their kids just watch.
yeah, so they're like, wow, millions of dollars, and it's like, no shit. It's like crazy. XQC makes money. duh. Like, it should logically make sense.
Yeah.
The thing is that like there's a lot of different streamers and they deserve the money.
They do.
The amount of
Oh,
influence and the amount of like following that they have, not only that but also the amount of growth that they have. It would be impossible to do if they were just doing it for free.
Oh, for sure.
I have 10 million people that are watching me daily. I need to be making the money that correlates with it.
Even though I will make fun of XQC a little bit because he moved back home. Like, he moved back home with his parents. He makes millions of dollars. XQC is like one of the biggest streamers on Twitch.
Yes.
He moved back home with his parents, and he, for like a couple of months in the pandemic, he streamed from like a kitchen wooden chair. And I was like, man, you make millions of dollars. I mean, like, it's funny because it's him and it makes sense for his character.
Yeah.
It was just very ridiculous.
Well, the running joke right now is like Cloaksy is one of those big streamers that recently Tim and Doc make fun of him because he recently bought a house in Florida. Everyone's moving to Florida for whatever reason. I guess it's cheap real estate.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
And he's like, oh yeah, he bought a McLaren. He doesn't even live at that house. I don't know where he's streaming because I don't watch Cloaksy as much. But I'm just like, dude, these guys are just literally. Sometimes they throw money. They don't know how to manage money well.
They really do not.
Yeah, so they have managers to do
They
it.
definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tim. I think what he actually, because I think it's buy me a car at a certain point. Like he kept killing Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, buy me a PC.
No, it was buy me a car.
He's now buy me a PC.
Yeah. Oh, is he buy me a PC now?
Yeah, now he's buying me
So
a PC.
anyway, at a certain point, he actually did get into contact with him to buy him a car.
Yeah, for
I
$2,000,
love
and he
that.
said
For
no.
Yeah, he was like, I'll give you $2,000 so that way you can buy like a little little car. And the guy was like, no, I don't want it. And he was like, you know what? Screw this guy. I offered to buy him.
I wanted to give him one.
Yeah,
He didn't want it.
He didn't want it. So like everybody's like, well, buy him a car, and he's like, I offered.
I tried.
I tried to give him money, and he wouldn't take it. What do you
Oh
want
my
me to
God.
do?
Do you have a favorite streamer?
I have a handful of favorite streamers. XQC is actually one of my favorite streamers. But I think as of recently, in the past couple of years, or in the last year, Ludwig has become like my favorite streamer.
He's partnered, not fully partnered, but he works a lot with offline TV, right?
No, not exactly.
Not exactly?
I do love offline TV though.
Yeah.
I got into them recently. I also love Pokimane. I think she's brilliant. As from like a businesswoman standpoint, she's actually kind of brilliant. But Ludwig is partnered with Coinbase, and Ludwig really got on the radar this past year because he did a subathon that lasted 29 days, and people would not stop subbing to him. They just would not. And he just kept going, and he would sleep on stream, and he just like kept going. And we were like, it was like almost like the Truman Show. Like we were watching this guy just live his life.
Yeah.
What isn't? There is somebody who's on there like 24/7. There is like one streamer who was just like, I'm never turning off my camera.
Well, it was
He when he's on his computer, he turns on the camera there and he swaps over. There is a stream that's like going 24/7.
That's crazy. This one was a little different because he was just doing it based on sub counts, and people were just entranced by this. And he actually he grew into the most sub streamer for that month because of the amount of subs he raised.
Yeah.
And it was just like a marvel.
He
of
donated
thing.
a lot of it, right?
Yeah, he did. Ludwig's also a very good guy. He also started doing it is the stupidest thing in the world. He got sponsored by Coinbase to run his own version of Jeopardy with streamers.
Dope.
And streamers are so stupid. Like, it is insane when you watch this how dumb these people are.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I love it. I'll watch it all day because they are the dumbest people I've ever seen.
What was it? I think it's there's a bunch of proof of that. Like when Courage is talking to Nick and also Tim, and then he goes like, "Where's British Columbia?" And then they were like, "It's in Canada, bro."
Yeah.
And then they're arguing about where in Canada British Columbia is. And then he goes, no, dude, no. It's in Europe. Like they're talking about it, and then you just see Courage mute his thing and go, they're idiots.
Yes.
Like these guys are
They're
dumb.
actually
like they're
so
so
stupid.
stupid. And then he goes, dude, it's DC. It's the nation capital.
Yeah.
And he was like, why do they call it DC? Like why is it called British
It's
Columbia?
District of Columbia.
District of
Oh
Columbia,
yeah,
yeah.
but it was so funny of just going like, oh my god,
They're stupid.
they're dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Wasn't
they're
They
really
are.
dumb.
They're really dumb. I love it. I think it's so great. That it gives hope to dumb people everywhere. Yeah,
hope.
you can really do anything.
Or the one where it was like Tim thought you could dig
Directly
Oh,
down
just
from an
directly
island.
down,
down
yeah.
into the ocean.
yeah,
and
people are just, it's insane. But I love Ludwig. I love XCC. I love Pokimane. I think she's great.
Pokimane recently, I think last year, started a scholarship program in UCI, right?
She's doing a lot. She's doing a lot of like. She also started her own, basically, an agency.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, she started an agency where she is going to help manage a lot of Twitch
Oh, I
streamers
did hear
like
about
run
that,
their
yeah.
own stuff, which makes sense. She has a lot of experience in it.
Yeah.
I think she's actually she's so smart compared to a lot
but
of
there's
streamers.
and there's a lot of different YouTubers and Twitch streamers that are doing that, it's not that it's difficult to do, but if you have a personality and you have like you think you have an audience that you can actually appeal to, I'm into it, because I think it's also the MatPat does entire
love
seminars.
MatPat.
He does entire seminars on how exactly to start YouTube, how like what to be doing, how exactly to be making your cuts, how to be doing certain things, how to do editing, and he does those. Mind you, he gets paid for it. Like people have to pay him to do it.
Of course.
But the thing is that he is out there trying to like say like this is how I did it, and you can also do this too. And just by changing certain things in your videos or your colors or even in your logos, like this is what you should be aiming for.
For sure.
Your thumbnail creations and stuff like that.
Different stuff.
Yeah. So I got 2 more questions to ask you before we move on to your cosplays, because I do want to talk about that as well. But one of the big kind of like things that Twitch gets heat on is the fact that it advertises a lot of lewd content. Okay. And I feel like one of the biggest controversies, like when it comes to streaming, is like, oh, women can't stream because they only get money because they look attractive and stuff.
Oh, do I have opinions?
No, and that's yes.
In all fairness, there are those Twitch streamers.
There are.
No.
There are
They exist.
They take
100%.
Alinity.
100%. There are Twitch streamers that
Holy back.
I'm ready to go.
But that's the thing, though, is that like I would like to fight that, and there are Twitch streamers that obviously have content and stuff like that, but there are also Twitch streamers that they do use the fact that they are beautiful to get viewership. Like I've watched a couple of those streams and they're boring.
So
it's just they're just boring.
Some of them
streams.
are. Yes.
Before you let loose on like this entire
fun.
thing, I'm gonna say this. So I feel like there are a lot of brilliant and talented women streamers out there. 100%. Pokimane is one of them, and I do like the fact that she comes out there. Like, she's had her controversies. I feel like she does need to be kind of kept in check a couple times here and there, because she does say things that don't really. It's not appropriate, and she kind of like she's a little bit hypocritical in some sense. But given the fact that she's come out and admitted, she has a sub cap where she doesn't earn more than this amount of money, because she earns it, through other pieces of revenue. She donates. She starts, what is it? The scholarship at UCI. She's starting this agency. Like, she's understanding and progressing with the industry. Right. Then you have other streamers like Nico Lowell, who know what they're working with and admit it. It's like, yes, I have simps. That is how I gain my popularity. And she sells on that. At least she's being front up about it. Paladin Amber, another Seed streamer. She's freaking awesome, and her transitions on stream are one of the best things I've ever seen. Like, she's got a close-up cam when like people like say some stupid things, like switch it over, and she just looks at you like just straight at the camera. Awesome. But I feel like, there's this kind of overshadow, and it's, ignoring the talented ones because there are other ones that are kind of ruining it for everyone else. Cece?
Yes. Okay. So.
And go.
Get your pen ready.
So here's the thing. Yeah, I know. I don't want to start too much. So this is something that I'm like super passionate about because I am a woman in streaming. I am obviously a very attractive woman. I can admit that because otherwise, like I exist. Like, I know what I look like. I put myself on the internet. I wouldn't be getting the comments and the likes that I get if I wasn't attractive. So I know.
Oh my
it's
God!
Just a
Some
fact.
of the stuff you post on Twitter, I saw that thread with the photos of the guy that was messaging. One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh my God! Yeah, I can talk about that too. But because we put up with so much garbage. Women who put their bodies on the internet put up with so much. And the thing is that I think. I'm gonna try and I need to think about this first. So the thing is, it's like, you know what you're working with, right? And if I'm going to be objectified by society, I should use that to my advantage, right? Because I'm going to get objectified no matter what I do. So why not use it? I'm not saying this is an excuse not to be entertaining. I'm just saying, why shouldn't I?
If you got it, flaunt it.
If you got it, flaunt it. Because I am also of the opinion that some girls, sure, they sit on stream and they're I guess a titty streamer is the term. But what's wrong with that? You know, if you have it and it works for you and you get to put in minimal effort, congratulations. It's like women who sell feet pics online. It's minimal effort. You're making a profit. Why not abuse the system that has abused you your entire life?
Not only that, but also you're filling a market that needs filling.
Exactly. And so I think it's very hypocritical. The other thing is like with women streamers in general, the amount of times I've gone into a women streamer like their chat, right? Yeah. No matter the size of their stream, they've been welcoming, they've talked, they work super hard, they have a layout, they bought art from artists, like they have everything. It's beautifully set up. And then people go and complain that they get more views, but actually they try a lot harder. The amount of male streams I go into where they just are monotone, they don't talk, and they're just bitter about the fact that they don't get views is insane. And so women tend to get a lot more streams, and views and stuff. And also it's a more niche market, right? There's fewer women who Twitch stream, and it's a market that needs to be filled. Yeah. And they're always going to have fans. And I just think that I think people like, for example, Amaranth. I don't know if you've ever seen Amaranth.
Yeah.
Amaranth is a hot tub streamer, right?
Yes.
I think she's a genius.
Oh, yeah.
I think her sitting there, because one, she is goddamn insane looking. She has an insane body, right? Like it is out of this world, and she uses that, and that's awesome. I think that's such a smart plan. If I had a body like Amaranth's, oh my god, like I don't even that's the kind of power like you shouldn't give to me, because like I'm Thanos at that point.
I'm going to abuse it.
I'm going to abuse it. And like, so I think she's so smart, and all she does is sit around in a hot tub. You know, if I could live my life sitting around in a hot tub all day doing weird stuff, of course I would do it. So I guess that's like my general 2 cents about female streamers.
The only unfortunate thing I do feel about that is that there are a lot of times, and there's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of people kind of reining people in.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately there are times where people in the chat will go and cross the line.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you need, and your moderators need to pop them out, need to kick them and everything like that. But then also, especially if you're a growing streamer, some of the girls just take it because they're just like, I can't kick him out because I can't afford it. And that's the
because they criminalized afterwards.
It sucks. It really does, because I don't respond to a lot of hate comments on Instagram, but I also know people come to my defense, right? And if I'm not saying it, it's fine, right? So if usually I'll screenshot it and I'll post it elsewhere, and then other people will comment for me. Yes. And that works in my favor. When it's on stream though, I am so unhinged on stream, and I do ridicule people who want to come in and just hate on me, because I also did hot tub streaming for a hot girl summer kind of segment on my stream, and people would come in to hate on me, and I just remember one of the comments was like, "Wow, it looks like you have daddy issues," and I was like, my response was, I was like, "Do you see what I'm doing? I obviously do not have a good relationship with my parents." It is very apparent.
So I was
like,
look where I'm at.
I'm literally I'm in a pool of water.
I'm eating Taco Bell in a kiddie pool in my living room. Do you think me and my parents get along? I don't think so.
No, but and that's the funny thing. But that's also the persona that you created.
Yes, and I think
it allows you that.
Yes,
thing.
It does.
But certain people who are on stream have not allowed themselves to have that part of their persona.
It becomes this thing of because a lot of people like to watch women who are very sweet on stream, and I understand, because they're adorable and they're cute and they play games, and it's I played Animal Crossing today, and that is not my personality.
Well, kind of like Valkyrie. Valkyrie is very much that cutesy stream and then when she gets angry, that's actually where it gets real funny. Yeah. Because she's been calm this entire time, and then all of a sudden she freaks, and then you're like, oh, we cracked her.
It's a big mood.
We broke her.
Yeah, and I know it varies from streamer to streamer. I just think in my experience dealing with smaller women streamers, especially, I just think I think they work harder for it.
They do.
I really do think that, because they also utilize their other social media. This thing that annoys the ever living crap out of me.
got more obstacles to deal with because they have that. Because that's the thing, is that most people don't think about how mentally, it affects people when they just get hate comment after hate comment. So that's another obstacle that they themselves have to deal with. Just the constant hate and just the baggage of just like, you're a woman, that's why you're getting everything. Like the money you earn, it's not because you're good at the video games, it's because you look pretty and people simp on you.
Oh yeah.
So, something that you mentioned that I want to bring back to is, if you have it, flaunt it.
Yes.
And there's nothing, I'm in that, in that aspect where, yes, because if anything, if the system is not allowing that kind of regulation, why not abuse it?
Yeah.
Right? Because Twitch needs to do better in that sense. If Twitch wants to be the gaming streaming platform, then you guys should have been, day one, or even up until now, progressively getting better and censoring those things. You guys don't want to deal with hot tub streams? Then you guys should have been on it.
I will say they did get better because they made a hot tub stream category. They were like, they realized there's an audience for this. They realized people want to do it. They realized there's nothing like horrible about it. And they also, so this happened this year. This has been like 6 months ago, but when they added the hot tub category, they also put a rule in their terms of service that said just because you find a person attractive does not mean it's sexually explicit. And they put that in their terms of service because so many people were being like, you're a boob streamer, when girls just had big boobs and they couldn't help it. Mm-hmm. They were like, I'm sorry, do you want me to not wear any, like, do you want me to wear a turtleneck the whole time? Like, I just want to wear clothing.
It's censorship to a point that it's not a good enough, or it's extreme censorship is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly, yeah.
Extreme censorship.
But unfortunately, in the past couple of years, extreme censorship has been a common thing.
Yes.
We're going, instead of finding this like nice little middle ground where everybody kind of is happy, it's like, okay, cool, we're just gonna shut the whole thing down.
Yeah.
And that's insane. Like that's
absolutely insane.
I've also been into the idea of like, if you don't want to watch something,
don't watch
it. Because that's the thing is like,
it's not hard.
Yeah, I have my favorite.
There are thousands of channels.
Yeah, I'm like,
go watch them
elsewhere.
Yeah, because I follow my like streamers. Like Moist Critical is one of my favorites, and he doesn't
Who?
Moist Critical?
Who?
He's great.
Shut up. He's awesome. I've followed him ever since he was like a small YouTuber. Courage I can't really follow. I just am not like a big fan of like how he kind of plays his games, but Z Laner, Tim the Tap Man, Doc is just awesome. His just production is so great. Paladin Amber, sometimes I put it in the background just because she's just like really great to hear, especially when she's just doing the just chatting portions of that stuff and she talks to her chat.
I understand what you mean about like people like Courage.
Yeah. Like
Courage is not a entertaining stream to watch. Mm-hmm. He is an entertaining person to watch later in clips.
Yeah.
He gets the best of, and his editing team does a really great job of putting it together and making it more entertaining than it actually was in live stream.
But you have your massive selection of streamers. So I've never understood people as like, you know what? This woman is ruining Twitch. These group of people are ruining it. And it's like, then don't, like, it's not your money. It's not your time.
Yeah.
If you really care about someone, give them your time and energy. Yeah. I get it. Sometimes people are just, it's simply like literally putting on a skimpy outfit and doing yoga on stream, and they're the ones, it sucks because they're the ones that are being upfront and being the ones that are kind of like ruining it for everyone else, or quote unquote ruining it, when there's other people.
But are they?
I don't think they are.
Because the thing is that they're filling an audience that wants to watch it.
But that's the thing.
And if they weren't getting the viewership that they are, then they wouldn't be at the top of the list.
Let me rephrase it. They're the ones that are kind of like, I think the biggest complaint is the group of people that are complaining, they want to watch streamers play games. And what they're seeing is that kind of stuff being advertised. And they're saying, this is ruining those people that are up and coming. But I don't believe that to be the case.
But that's kind of like you hating on PBS because you don't want to watch Muppets. Like that's
it's also it's not even, that's the thing. It's like, because Twitch is set up the way it's set up too, you can just go to a different category.
Just change it.
And that's why they made the hot tub streams category.
They filtered
and it's also one of those things where it's like, you aren't taking away viewers from another streamer, because a streamer who wants to watch a girl in a hot tub isn't gonna go watch you play Call of Duty. It wasn't gonna happen in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that's like, a lot of people were complaining about nothing, was my opinion when it happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's just salty people on the internet who are mad for no reason,
See,
which
yeah.
we see every day.
Yeah,
Like, it's just a constant.
Well, people are getting mad because they can't do it.
Yeah.
That's
it.
I physically can't go into a hot tub. Listen, if we could get 100,000 views and we had to wear bikinis the whole time, and I knew I was going to get 100,000 views, I'd make you all wear bikinis.
I think this is a great idea. Do the podcast from a hot tub.
Yeah, and do the podcast from a hot tub. I knew that the three of us wearing bikinis wouldn't get 100,000 views. I'd make you do it.
In other words, you want us to wear bikinis.
I absolutely.
Yeah, this is a great idea.
This is exactly
How many followers do you need? What's the goal? Yeah. When's hot tub stream? What's the goal
1,000
here?
followers.
Yeah.
Gets the hot tub screen.
I'll make
in
it happen.
bikinis.
You don't
Let's
think
do
I
this.
won't?
No,
So
but the thing is that if I knew that, and I know my market, and I know that that's where it's going, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's and that's the thing though, is that if it wasn't working, they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple. That is the reality of they offer a service, and I'm coming to use that service. That's it.
Also, women are just pretty.
That's true.
And
Sometimes men are
I don't
pretty.
want to look at men, and I just want to stare at a pretty woman.
That's fair.
And I want her to soothe my soul,
Yes.
and not. Yeah,
Everyone's
that's all I
got
want.
their thing.
You
Everyone's
know?
got their thing.
Every
Everyone's got
once
a
in a
niche.
while, I think it's just kind of nice.
But
Yeah.
the thing,
No,
but
it's
not only that,
understandable.
but also I do feel that it's also really funny just to watch dudes in a hot tub stream.
No, that is very funny.
Because
I do love that.
Because that is hilarious of them being inside of the pool and then realizing, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's
Like they're obviously not here to see my body.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there has to be something else.
so like
Hot
there's
tub
just like
streams?
there's water toys
Yeah.
and then like then they realize I have electronics. What am I doing?
Yeah, I had to get so drunk for hot tub streams. Like, hot tub streams are actually so much more difficult than video games because video games, I have something to comment on, right? I have
Exactly.
something I'm seeing. Hot tub streams, you have to just stare at a camera. You have to look hot and you have to try and talk about things. And you're like sitting there and you're like, I don't fucking know what to talk about.
Chat, do something,
yeah,
please.
I'm like, okay,
Please.
give me a topic of conversation, I
Yeah,
guess.
I thought it was funny because a buddy of mine, he did a hot tub stream, and then he was like, all right, chat, give me a topic to talk about. And then they were like, oh, January 6th. And he was like, give me another topic, guys. I don't want to talk.
yeah. Like, I don't know what to say.
Like
Oh my
you just
God.
like, give me another topic. And then it just kept saying the same thing. And then he was just like, I hate all of you.
hate this.
So the last question I want to ask,
Yes.
this is in regards to Twitch now having competition with YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube gaming is
Yes.
actually growing
thing.
tremendously, and I kind of want to say that Facebook gaming it's not Mixer, but it's also not YouTube gaming.
I think Facebook gaming is they're trying to reach for something that they cannot achieve. I think YouTube gaming is going to be the closest they can get, but I also I don't go to YouTube to watch streams, right? I don't watch live streams on YouTube. I go there for clips.
Yeah.
And that's the place I go. And I get that they're paying these people a lot of money to switch to YouTube. I just don't think it's the best idea.
Well, the thing is that according to people who have switched, it's good because the software that they're using makes it a lot easier to clip and edit immediately from there, and then immediately post it, and then they can you know, do their and they can do their thing because it's already on YouTube. You're already on YouTube, so I don't have to re-download the file. I don't have to do everything like that, and then I can easily just edit this clip together, and then I can just post it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good. I mean, it's not the best of reasons.
No, it's
But-
one of those things where it's just like, but when you hear Twitch, you think gaming, right? You think live streams, you think gaming. When you hear YouTube, you don't think of that. You might think of gaming clips, you might think of gamers, but you don't think of live streaming. I don't even know how to get to the live streaming part of YouTube.
No, discoverability there is garbage.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that then people won't want to switch because also it is so easy for someone to find me on Twitch, right? They click on a category. If I'm similar to the other stuff they've watched, I'm usually in the top third of viewership. Then it's easy for someone to find me.
Yes.
And if I am a newer streamer, I don't want to compete with Valkyrie. I don't want to compete with all these huge people if they can't even find me.
Exactly. But the thing is that also I also know that the other thing that's really easy about YouTube streaming is because if you are subscribed to that person, it'll then say so and so is live. They are now streaming
on Twitch.
and but it says it on YouTube as well, because when Tim is streaming now, it automatically notifies me and says
It doesn't
Tim
notify me. I don't know. YouTube's
it's-
notification's weird.
But no, it's in the bell system. If you have the bell system set up to have all notifications, then it does it. But if you
Twitch does it automatically, which is so stupid. It's like I feel like YouTube should be in that sense. Like Twitch can learn from YouTube and YouTube can learn from Twitch.
In all fairness, if they were just to partner up, it would make life a lot easier.
Man, that'd be interesting.
It would
I would much rather
I
have
like
them
it
just
being separate.
Yeah, just compete against each other because it makes the platforms.
It does.
It'll make the platforms better because Twitch has this idea where it thinks it's top dog.
It does.
But YouTube can come in and steal that audience and be like, yo, we got a better UI. If you guys just want to follow a streamer and get the clips and still watch their live streams, it's there. They just need to fix their discoverability. They need to fix their studio system, especially for streaming. They also need to figure out how they're going to do the subscription base because Twitch has like unique things. You can cheer for people. You can donate to people. You can sub to emotes, all those different things. And YouTube doesn't. YouTube has a join button. It's got a subscription button. And if you want to get notified, you got to click that bell. It's so much work to just get things out there. It's like you got to go back and forth. And when Tim switched, apparently iOS didn't have an application to join. So you had to do it online on a browser. And I'm like, that how stupid is that?
It was a lot of loop around to get to the same thing but that's also because YouTube streaming is so new.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But the thing is that is it a bad call? No, because like Tim, he had a solid following.
Yeah.
And what happened was as soon as he switched over to YouTube, all of them moved from Twitch and they all came over. And then he got a bunch of new people from YouTube. So I mean,
I guess, but you also kind of lose a huge chunk of your Twitch platform. And the thing is, also from an aesthetic standpoint, Twitch looks like a gaming platform. YouTube does not. Like aesthetically speaking, I don't look at YouTube and say like this is a place where I feel welcome and live streaming because that's kind of the thing is you watch a Twitch stream partially because it's comfortable and you feel comfortable there in that stream and you feel connected to the person. I don't feel connected to the people when I go on YouTube. I don't know. There's something about the way it's designed that it just doesn't work for streaming in my brain. And so I don't know if they would have to make a lot of changes if they ever wanted to surpass Twitch.
Yeah.
So
many.
But the thing is that, and that's the greatest thing about competition is that now that they're competing against Twitch, the problem is that Twitch has killed everybody that's attempted to try and take the throne.
Yeah.
The Goliath.
It's killed every program or any other streaming service that has basically tried to take the throne from them. Even though they have better UIs, even though they have, their streaming is a lot better, even though their mechanics are a lot better, Twitch has been able to kill them. And then what usually happens is they kill them and then take whatever was really good about them and then they integrate it into Twitch.
They take their soul.
Yeah, they
it is true.
They literally do. And then Twitch gets a nice like facelift and it goes like, oh, that thing that was really cool on Mixer, now we have it.
Twitch kills a competition. Final Fantasy victory sounds up.
Yeah. Or they'll do it as they're killing them. Where it's literally like, oh yeah, the reason I go to Mixer is because of this one feature that's really cool. And then Twitch goes, it's up now. We have that on us. We did the same thing. You like it? Now we have it. And then there you go. Okay, well, what's the point of me moving then?
Yeah.
And everything like that. And I think that's a huge thing is that Twitch adapts very well.
They do.
They know the people that are in charge know what they're doing and they know how to adapt and integrate other programs into their stream.
Yes.
For sure.
And it makes it so that way they are mildly unkillable. YouTube needs to integrate and they need to adapt just like them. I mean, they're owned by Google now, so it should be a little bit easier to integrate.
Have you seen the graveyard of Google? Have you seen Google's graveyard? You can fill an entire continent with the amount of things Google's killed.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
and if I'm not gonna lie, if they were to go tomorrow and say YouTube gaming is dead and we're not gonna do it anymore, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't either.
I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing is that the more people that jump ship from Twitch, because Twitch does have. There was a reason why Tim and like other people jumped. Like there was a specific reason.
It's money.
Remember.
Yeah, it was a ton of money.
Well, it was a ton of money, but there was also like certain things that they just couldn't do.
They'll
on
say
Twitch,
other
too.
stuff too. They'll say stuff, right? So
Yeah.
people don't think they're sellouts because they're covering their own butts. But they at the end of the day, it was money.
It's security. You're getting
It's
paid millions and
security.
millions of
Yeah.
dollars to switch.
And like
that's how
they're
you
like,
make a
oh
living.
yeah, I get
Yeah.
a few perks out of it anyway. Like,
Yeah.
and my audience will follow me. They're not worried about that kind of stuff. They already make YouTube content, so like the switch for them is logical.
Exactly.
But
And-
for someone who is not making YouTube content, it doesn't make any
well,
sense.
like what was it? Like Dr. Disrespect.
Yes.
Dr. Disrespect just overnight disappeared on Twitch.
Yeah.
And then just showed up on YouTube.
I can't
and, like,
wait to
everybody-
figure out what's going on with that. That's gonna be fun to like.
well,
once
gonna
it
be a
comes out.
time.
Yep.
But the thing is that like no one knew, and then like even other streamers were like, "What the hell just happened?"
No, they know. They just can't speak about it.
There might be some, but there are other people that talk about it, and they're just like, "I have no idea." What's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure one day it'll come out in like a tell-all or whatever. I don't know. If Dr. Disrespect has a tell-all, that'd be hilarious.
He will.
That'd be very, very funny.
But
So we're gonna switch topics real quick.
Yes.
This was all informative.
Yeah, we
really
love
great.
Twitch streaming.
Streaming
I have
is
so
freaking
much
that.
information.
That's so great. But
video game industry is always fun.
yes,
Yeah.
you do cosplays as well.
Oh yeah, I do.
And I jumped into one of your streams and I think you were doing the Dark Magician girl on stream. You were working on that one?
No, I was working on my gun for Jinx. I did a
That's-
cosplay
okay,
stream
there you go.
one time.
Yeah.
Once or twice I've done it.
Right now you're working on the Dark Magician one.
I am fixing her up. So I finished my Dark Magician girl, but I'm actually in a cosplay contest on Sunday. So I'm fixing it up so it's more elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I decided that certain parts of it weren't clean enough for competition. Because I know cosplay competitions and they're very intense because they look over every single inch of your costume. And I also wanted to add some embroidery so that it's more elaborate because her costume is relatively simple. So I decided to add some like extra aspects that aren't in her original outfit, but I think it makes it my own. It adds that creativity. It'll be great for judging.
So what exactly got you into cosplay? We asked the last guest last week. What got her into it? What really inspired you about cosplay?
So I did my first cosplay when I was 12 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, I was super young. I cosplayed Sasuke from Naruto, and not like female Sasuke, like Sasuke. I like
be a
to
specification.
emphasize that, yeah, because everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the girl over," and I'm like, "No, I was a very proud boy." And so
It's very Shakespearean of you.
yeah. So my parents were trying to be encouraging. They didn't think it would end up in a life of nerddom. But they were like, you like this anime thing. And my dad found a flyer at a library for an anime convention. And I went and I fell in love with it because it was like, as like a super nerdy gremlin looking middle schooler, you know, but like I pull off Sasuke really well because I'm a 12-year-old and I have angst. And so, but then people like compliment you. And it's the first time in my life I like had been complimented, you know, and they're like, we love Sasuke. Sasuke is such a cool character. And so I just like fell in love with it. And so, and then I started, because my parents aren't, I don't have a great relationship with my parents, but you know, but they didn't really approve of the whole cosplay thing. So I started in secret making all my own costumes. I started hand sewing everything. So I got really good at hand sewing.
Wow.
Yeah, you tweeted out that you've been doing it for 10 years, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I was 12. I'm 25 now, so over a decade.
Yeah. Hand sewing is difficult.
Hand sewing is very difficult.
It's definitely a skill that one has to pick up.
I am very good at it now because I had years of practice, and then eventually I did get my first sewing machine when I was about 18-ish.
But there is a certain look to hand sewing that for some I think it's because there's a lot of passion behind the hand sewing that does make things look a little bit better than a machine.
It's a little easier to control, right? Because machines do it very fast, but like you can control more when you're hand sewing. So I did that for a really long time, and I modified a lot of stuff from thrift stores, and that's how I really got started. And then when I was 18, I got my first machine, and I started really learning how to sew and make stuff, and it just led into this life of like, this is what I do now. And I had a few viral cosplays very early on that made me blow up on Instagram. So I got an Instagram following, and it was kind of overwhelming at first, but like I've gotten kind of used to it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Because, like, also people will approach me at conventions and stuff, and they're like, I was so intimidated to talk to you. And I'm like,
No, I've been there. I always like, yeah. What? I love that reaction because when I go to conventions, and I've seen some great ones. The last one I went to was LA Comic Con, and I saw a really awesome dark magician girl.
Yeah.
She had like, the headgear and everything, and she had the staff.
Yeah.
And I went up to her. I'm just like, dude, this is like the dopest like cosplay I've seen here, but I didn't know how to tell you. And she's like, dude, it's okay. And I'm just like, yeah, but because there's an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
But the thing is that a lot of the people that do cosplay, especially go to cons, the reason why they took it to a con is so that way people will go up to them and say it looks dope.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
the
man,
worst,
nerds don't have the best social skills. All right, we got anxiety.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
just walk up to people and just tell them how you feel, and honestly, it's great for them too because they know, because then they go, oh damn, like all of the time and effort I put into this costume paid off.
Yeah.
Because people love it.
Yeah.
And everything like that.
Oh, I totally get that. It's funny too because like on the like, I guess like we're called cos famous people, right? Because we're not famous outside of cosplay, right? If you know cosplay, you know us. If you don't know cosplay, we don't matter.
Right.
And there's a lot of people like that, and some of them are very elitist. So I do understand the intimidation factor of like, oh, I didn't want to talk to you because I thought you might be like these other people. But there are a lot of us who are also super great, and I love working with new people. And like some people are like, "You want to work with little old me?" And I'm like, "Yeah," like because I'm here for fun. I'm not here because it's a competition. I'm not here because it's whatever. Who's prettier? Who's not?
But
prettier.
the thing is that I never understood that from the cosplay community, especially seeing as you have to have a following and you need to be talking to these people, and people have to like you in order for you to succeed.
Oh,
so I've never understood any cosplayer who was just like. I think I've only seen it once where somebody walked up to somebody and said, "Can I take a photo with you?" And they were just like, "No, get out of my way." And
worked on this for weeks.
Yeah, and
no photos.
And no. It was because it was like you're not taking a professional photo of it.
Yeah.
So
and there are some people like that.
I don't want to take I don't want to take a photo with you if you're not going to be taking a professional photo of it. It's not going to be going anywhere to embolden my brand, I guess.
Yeah, and I just don't get it.
But the thing is that it is emboldening your brand because you're talking to your community and you're then having outreach, because then people go like, oh, this was really cool, and then it goes on their Instagram, and then and then so forth and so forth, and then it spreads. So I never understood that. It's a weird mindset to have. Yeah.
It's so weird because you're not anything outside of this community.
Exactly.
You know, no one would know who you are on the street.
Harsh reality check.
It's
No,
true.
but
though.
it is.
It's
true.
so true.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know cosplay, nobody knows who you are. So stop acting like that.
Outside of this costume,
yeah,
you're a nobody.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, there's a story. I follow like cosplay Reddits on on forums, and I'll read stories of like people that work. There was one in particular that was like a Joanne worker, and then said like there was a cosplayer that they knew but no one else knew, but they got up to someone, they're like, I need this and that, and they go, I need it now. They go, okay, well, why I need this much fabric? Well, because I'm a cosplayer. And they're like,
that's nice.
That's
like,
the funniest sentence I could ever say.
like
Just
that,
I'm a
like
cosplayer.
and
like,
they're looking at him
nice.
like, okay. She's like, yeah, well, I have like a following on Instagram. Like they're constantly just like, yo,
But-
I'm like really well known.
That's that's a huge joke between me and my friends because I have a following.
Yeah.
And so my friends will go. I'll go to a convention, right? And I get stopped for a pretty long time because I'm either pretty or they know me or they just want a photo. So I like stand in the same position for like 30 minutes.
It's really funny because it turns into Disneyland.
It does, and you're like, you want to take photos with them. But my friend's favorite thing to do is walk away from me for like 30 minutes, and they come back and they scream across the convention, and they just go, "Is that the famous Triforce of procrastination?" And they say it in like that voice, and I'm just like, I hate all of you.
Okay, so the first time we ever met you, and I remember this night. I remember where Andy and I were sitting at Guildhall, and I remember we were talking to you, and I forget how the conversation came about of like, oh, like just follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we looked you up, and around that time you were at like I think 12K or more followers.
Yeah.
And I remember going like, wait, what? I was talking to Andy. I'm like, wait. What? We were surprised. So then you come back to us, and I ask you, I'm like, are you like big on Instagram? And you're just like, yeah, I am.
Yeah,
just like, yeah, just like.
Oh my God, they're real.
She's
a real person.
I told her,
Oh
I
my
told her, I
God.
was just like, wait, so like you're actually like super famous on Instagram, and you acted so giddy. You're just like, yeah, I guess. it's so
because like I never know how to react to that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I'm so not used to it, and like as you know, I was such a nerd growing up that like sometimes when people are like, oh, you're just like kind of famous, and I'm like, not really, but thank you.
But it's that kind of like humbleness kind of aspect that's really cool to see amongst people.
Oh, for sure. And that's like something like that's why I like working with young cosplayers and like newer people to the space because
Right.
I'm like I don't want you to feel like everybody in this community is just a piece of garbage because
Yeah.
there are people like that. And like honestly to say, because if you guys know who Jessica Negri is, she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the biggest cosplayer in the world.
Yeah.
So I actually had a opportunity, amazing opportunity. I got to go to a party that she was hosting at KatsuCon. It was a couple of years ago. And it was because I knew this photographer, and he invited me, and she is the nicest person. I can confirm.
I've met her twice.
Yeah,
Yes,
she is
very nice.
so nice. And this was like out of like a meet and greet setting. It was like she didn't even have to give me the time of day. She was so nice. She told me I was pretty. The funny thing is, it was like a cocktail party, right? So everyone's like in cocktail dresses, even though we're weebs and it's weird. But she shows up to her own party, and I think she forgot it was a cocktail party, and she shows up in like.
Cosplay?
In a jacket and shorts and
Oh,
a
wow.
backwards hat.
Oh, that's
and she was
funny.
like, I feel so underdressed. And she was like telling me this, and she was just so sweet and nice. And she called me pretty, and I was like, the nerve of you to call me pretty.
Hold up.
How dare you, ma'am? And she was just the nicest person, and I was like, thank God, because I idolized you for so long that
Oh,
like it
that's cool.
actually really means a lot to me.
When Negri was getting really big, I remember I was 19, my very first E3 going, and I found out that Jessica Negri was there.
Yeah.
I think she was at I forget what booth she was at. And I remember being super nervous going, and then like I was like, oh, can I take a photo? And she was like, yeah. And then like I was like going to go take the photo, and then she was like, you can be in it. Like,
yeah.
like this is like you don't have to just take a photo of me. You can come over here and we can take the photo together. Like I have a guy there. It's fine. And I was like, and I remember being really nervous. I was 19. I was working for a booth, and I was just like, this is weird. Like this whole situation is becoming weird. And like I ended up taking the photo with her, and she was just like, yeah, like it was like nice to meet you, everything like that. And she was like really nice and sweet and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would definitely go check you out at another like con. Like you're super awesome and everything like that. And I was like complimenting like the thing, and she was like telling me about it, going like, oh yeah, like it was really cool, like doing this, and this is something I'm really proud of. And it's like, oh, like she's a person.
Yeah, you're a human. Yeah, that's always the
You're
crazy
human.
thing is like you are a human,
Yeah.
and like it takes people a second to like come to that realization of like, oh, you are just a human being. Thank you.
Yes.
I don't think I've had bad experiences with content creators. I've met Rene Scully twice, and then I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sugar Pine 7. No?
No. I don't think so.
They got picked up by Rooster Teeth
Okay.
for a while. Then they got dropped. But I met the cast there. They're some of the greatest people, and that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people kind of have the misconception of is like, you know, cosplayers and content creators, like you can go up to them. More than likely, they're always going to be super nice.
Yeah.
It's just I think that people have that anxiety inside of them of going up to them and being like, "Hey, I watch
It's
your
also,
stuff." Or
some people are way too personal, right?
Yeah.
Because they act like they know you. Like they act like because they've watched your stuff that they are your best friend.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am really sorry I do not know you this way. Like, because I've never even met
Have
you
you
in
had
my
that
life.
before?
A little bit here and there. Because like I also get a lot of Instagram DMs, and people try to talk to me like it's a regular conversation, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like I just can't talk to you in this way. And that's like it's a hard thing to combat because you don't want to make them feel bad, but you also are like, I barely have enough energy in my week to talk to the people I'm dating. Like I don't have enough energy to also talk to somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to limit my Instagram DMs to like business professional stuff, or like, you know, if you send me, it's different if you send me a heart, right? You send me a little emoji, I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that.
What was it? I think the only time I was like super nervous was when I met Adam Sessler.
Okay.
Like, I met Adam Sessler, and it was because we were leaving E3, and when we were leaving, me and my buddy saw him.
Yeah.
He was leaving, and they had just started The Verge, and I was like so giddy. I was like so nervous and starstruck, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then my buddy was like, we should go say hi. And I'm like, dude, it's the end of the, because you've been
It's-
to a
yeah.
con,
Yeah.
especially when you've been working.
Yeah.
Like, this man has been working all day.
Yeah.
And now some jerk is gonna walk up to him and be like, "Oh, can I get a photo with you?" And because mind you, he was leaving when no one else was there. It was only exhibitors that were there left. And then me and a buddy walked up to him, and I was like, "Mr. Sessler, I have been a fan of yours forever. Is there any way I can get a photo with you?" And he was like, "Absolutely, yeah. Like, come on." And like, he took a photo with us, and he was like, "You guys were working like." He then had like a 20-minute conversation with us, and we were like, "I'm having a conversation with Adam Sessler right now.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's-
This is a dream come true as a small child."
Yeah,
having a
it's so
conversation
cool.
with Adam Sessler. And I remember like being super excited, and then he was just like, I hear that all the time, but it's always really great to kind of see like, the kids that grew up with me and they still love the things I do and everything like that. I hope you like follow The Verge and everything else. And we were like, yes, I love you. And no, because
You're acting giddy now. Look at you.
Listen, Adam Sessler, if anybody hasn't seen it for G4, is kind of like the older brother that told you what was cool.
Yeah.
G4's coming
In
back,
video
by the way.
Yeah, G4
Yeah.
is coming back.
Yeah,
What a time.
but the thing is that it's one of those things of like Adam Sessler's kind of like the older brother. He's like the guy that was like, this game's cool, this game sucks, don't play this game.
Yeah.
And then you were like, absolutely.
Absolutely, this makes sense.
Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb said, don't play that game, I'm never going to play that game. Kill that game.
Destroy it.
Yeah. And I think that was like the main time I was ever like really that and Paul Dini. But that was for a totally different reason. But yeah, so seeing people that aren't total jerks and are totally open to their community is really great, but also you have to know where that boundary is.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
And I know that some people don't know where it is, but you
Some
can
people
guide them. You can-
definitely do not. A lot of people like to DM me about weird stuff.
You got one to share?
I could. I mean, like, so I tweeted the other day about one, and it's.
Where can people find you on Twitter, by the way?
They can find me at Triforce_of_pro. It's the same as my Twitch.
I think I was gonna say. I think it's all the same.
Yeah, it's almost all
gonna
the same.
wonder.
So I'm just
I've
gonna
never
keep
heard
saying
someone
it.
go like
Underscore.
underscore.
It doesn't come up unless you do the
Yeah,
underscore.
it makes sense.
But yeah, I have so many weird people who will message me on the internet because I also put myself very much out there. I do a lot of weird content, and I do understand what I'm signing up for. I am signing up for the weird garbage.
It's great content, though.
And there are good and bad examples.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me just read this. So on my, I
gotta say
tweeted
it.
this. I tweeted this because I was like, "What is happening right now?" I just like.
Is it the
can't-
one that you recently tweeted?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, you've seen this. So I'm just gonna read this off. So this is some guy named Paul. I don't know him. I've never talked to him
Paul.
in my life. Yeah,
If you're listening to this,
shout out to Paul.
Thank you for giving us
You're
content.
real weird, and I don't really appreciate that. But he was like, "Would you ever take martial arts?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd be down." And he was like, "I do taekwondo for the toning. It's hard to do the flexibility with my height, though. Do you punch or kick better?" And I was like, "Kick for sure. I just do ab workouts." And he was like, "How high can you kick? Just curious." And I was like, "Pretty high." And he was like, "How high compared to your own body?" And I was like, like my own body." And he was like, "How tall are you?" 5'7". Could you kick in big-heeled boots? Yes. Are they actually effective? Sure.
Yeah.
What's your balance like in them?
Wow.
Good.
He's getting down to specifics.
How high are your heels? I don't know. High? Would a square or thin heel be better for it? Square, probably. Could square heels be sharp, though? I said no, but it's not impossible in thin heels. Would the kick be just as high in square heels? I don't know. Maybe. Is it
I love
higher?
how you're just
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to see where this was going.
Yeah.
And then I needed an answer,
Like at a certain point, you're kind of like,
you're-
I don't know.
You're
what's
pulling-
the-
you're
I mean,
pulling
who
the
knows?
rope.
Maybe there's a bit.
Yeah, I was like, maybe
there's
this is I need to know the end game.
maybe
And
this
then
is a bit at the end.
he was like, is it higher to the front or side? I was like, fucking not sure. He was like, just intrigued. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? And he was like, you'd be fierce. And then I just stopped because I was like, I can't
Oh,
do
man,
this
yeah,
anymore.
He's not giving you.
Yeah, he's not giving me what I want.
This
Which
guy's
is like,
so
the answers is what I wanted.
people need to see that thread. And
Yeah.
the only reason why is because you had me laughing,
That's great.
like just loudly, just because you progressively got
Weirder?
less and less like
nice.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just
I was
like,
nice at
you
first.
were using like, you know,
LOLs,
Ha-ha.
and then later I was like, I don't know.
What's your deal, man? You're
this guy's
was like,
dug
dude,
straight
what do you
down and
want
just
from me?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna go into like kicking him. Like,
I definitely was
Yeah.
like, he wants me to kick him.
Like-
I
Like kick
10
him in
out
the
of 10,
balls or
he
something
wants me
like
to
that.
kick him,
Yeah.
or he has some weird fetish I've never heard of, and I wanted to know
Yeah,
about it.
I was
It's-
kind of leaning towards that. I was like,
This is-
what kind of
this is-
fetishes does he
this is-
have?
This is very much like a stepping on fetish. Or
I think so.
Like getting kicked fetish. I don't know what that is.
I have
but-
no
Being
idea.
tied up
I
and
was
just
like,
or maybe he wants to
who-
be like tied up really
yeah,
high
or
on the
like
wall.
God.
he
Listen-
might be really into characters from like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I just don't
Listen,
know.
I know for a fact it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen is because a buddy of mine immediately not weirded out a stripper, but kind of
kind of weird.
no, because he was giving her money and everything, you know, like you do, you tip,
Yeah.
and then he was like holding it, and then like he was kind of like, and then she like had him bend kind of like that, and then she then stepped on his chest and then picked the dollar up.
Nice.
And then immediately my buddy was like, taking her to the room.
Taking her in.
I'm getting a private dance. And then I don't know what happened. He only told me what happened of like immediately he was like, do you step on people? Like is that a thing you do? And then she was immediately like, oh, I triggered something.
Yeah, something's happening.
She was like, no, I don't do that. Like,
You've awakened like something.
Yeah,
because he was
something-
like, oh, I will pay extra. And
Oh,
then
it's real.
And then she was just like, no, that's not a thing. That's not a service I do. And he was just like, that's too bad. And then,
Bye.
but it was so funny because he came back to us and he was just like, I didn't know I was into that.
That awakened something.
And it
in him.
awakened something dark in me, and now I want it.
I didn't know I wanted it.
I didn't know I wanted that. Now I do.
Yeah, men are wild on the internet. Because it's never women. Women are always so nice.
Yeah.
And men are just a time. I can't comprehend it. Like there was also some guy who messaged me once, and this is one of my favorite messages I've ever received because it is so bold, right? And I have to give him so much credit for being this bold. And he messaged me and he was like, hey, do you do fart fetish videos? His immediate next message was, by the way, I'm a rapper. Check me out on SoundCloud. And
What a way
Trying to
to.
do the cross promotion.
and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
So my question is that I think he wanted you to record a fart sound.
Yeah, and
so
you
he can then,
sample it.
and then
Yeah,
sample
and
it.
that's what people said.
That's what I thought.
And-
Immediately I was like, oh, well, that's what he's trying to do.
Yes.
He's trying.
So I receive a lot of messages like those two examples.
I'm kind of interested in that guy's mindset, just like scrolling
yeah,
through
like-
Instagram. He's like, yeah, that's a good fart.
Yeah,
bro."
he's like, that girl's got it.
She can blow ass.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Definitely.
So,
And not only that, but then to go. I've
Oh, by
already
the
asked-
way,
I've already
yeah.
asked this.
Yeah.
I should promote myself.
I should, self-promo real quick.
I don't get the mentality of some of these people. I'm just
I
like,
just don't
like,
get it.
I
I'm
don't-
like, what do you think I will respond with?
Yeah.
I just don't understand what
Look,
the end game is.
the
Some
funny thing
people
is
get
that-
frustrated when they read or see these things. I'm just sitting there dumbfounded going like, what the hell goes on in your mind that you can ask these sorts of, like, what awoke inside of you to feel so
I know.
brave to ask
Yeah.
these
but
Here's the
also,
thing, though,
when they
90
are that brave, I give them
no,
so
because you know
much
why?
credit.
Because you know why? It's worked. It's that, no.
It's
You
gonna
see
happen.
what?
It's
It has
gonna
to.
happen.
No, it has to.
It
'Cause
had to happen,
Most
yeah.
likely, he's been shot down 99.5% of the
No
time.
fear.
But there's that 0.05%
If
of the
I
time
roll a
where it
d20,
works.
I'm bound to roll a 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
eventually.
basically.
I'm about.
It's insane.
It's just odds.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
odds are eventually somebody's gonna say, why not?
Yeah, and like I don't give credit to people who like step around it. Like they want me to initiate. Like they just kind of like
yeah.
teeter on the edge. And I'm like, just get to the point. Do you want to pay me for lewd photos or not? I need to know.
You want him or not?
You want them or not? Because I am not like this is.
Now you're wasting my time.
Exactly.
Anders.
You're
Yeah.
wasting two people's time here. And it's
I know
funny.
I know what you're here for.
Yeah, I know what you came here for.
Just-
I
just-
understand.
Just order from the menu and let's get
Yeah,
going.
let's get on with this. Well, it's funny because there is also a good way of doing it. Because also, so the guy I'm currently dating, he literally simped for me for like 3 years. So we matched on Tinder, right?
and
We
it-
added each other on Snapchat. He followed me on Instagram. We messaged here and there, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And then he started following me on Twitch when I started Twitch streaming, and he was one of my first subscribers actually. And he was always super nice, respectful. Only messaged me like in a very nice way, like. And then we just later, fucking a year later, we started messaging, and I like to call it a it can happen story,
Cece, what you're saying right now is you're giving people.
I'm giving people hope,
and someone's gonna listen to this and be like, this girl just dated someone that was following.
Dated a simp.
Be very respectful.
Yes.
Give her money, and eventually she might give you a chance. She might give you a chance.
Congratulations, Cece. You were the first person to almost knock me out of my chair.
It's true. Because I noticed him because he was one of my first subscribers, and then he was very respectful and messaged me only when I wanted to be messaged. He was very nice to me, and then it grew into this thing where we actually started talking, and then I was like, oh yeah, he was kind of cute when we matched on Tinder. I remember that, and then eventually we started dating, and then he brought me so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was like, well,
yeah, you talked about it a lot.
I am submitted. He brought me the Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician girl. I'm not kidding.
Hold on.
These
What
are
arts,
great.
though?
He got me. He
What
built
art,
me a
though?
whole cipher deck the last time he
No
was here.
way.
Yeah, so he is slowly.
Hold on, but I have
Nick
to
just
ask,
like-
I have to ask.
Yeah.
What art?
So
Is
he
it the
brought me two actually, and it was the one where it's the full body with the magician circle on the outside, and she's kind of kneeling, and then it was I don't remember the other one because he brought me two. That's all I remember, and he brought me a few other super rare cards, but he also brought me a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Which blue eyes? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh God. I don't know if I remember because I have a bunch now because I had some to begin with and then he brought me some.
Well, the reason I ask is because there is 30 different arts.
Oh
of
yeah,
Blue Eyes White Dragon,
100%.
And there's some that are worth a cent.
Yeah, and for my birthday he also bought me the Lost Art Dark Magician Girl, which is super nice.
Really?
You didn't mention that. You just
it was
said
recent.
that.
It was
I
very
remember
recent.
telling you this guy
'cause
simped hard and he simped right.
He simps in the right way. Yeah, it's in a very much right way where he just showers me with gifts.
Okay, so for Blue Eyes White Dragon, just because there's thousands of arts. There's
so
thousands of them.
I already owned the one where it's the
original?
the first one, the original one, and then he brought me the one with the stone in the background. Was one of the ones he brought me.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty nice.
Well, that one came inside of the 2009 booster.
Yeah, and then I also own the other one. He brought me that second to last one, which is where it's kind of bent in a weird way.
This one?
So send me the photo so I can put them on.
Yeah,
on.
those are.
Yeah.
Those are. Which are those two?
On the first row, the second to last. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Those two came out in the early structure decks of it, which came out later. I'm so nerdy.
I am
and
such a
I'm
big
really showing
person.
my nerd right now. But the reason I'm asking is because I remember having the it was a limited run one. I had it when I was working with you. It was the Jump Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Ooh, okay.
And at the time they were $20.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing was it only came in certain certain magazines of the Jump comics. Mm-hmm. The thing is that now, if you have a pristine one that's still inside the Jump package and everything, it's right there. It's the one where the moon's right underneath it. And he's on a skyscraper.
So he has that one. He refuses to give it to me. I
think I might have one of those.
The reason why is because right now, if you have one of those and it's the signed Jumped comic, I think they go somewhere near $300 to $400.
They're insane.
Dang.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards have a really interesting kind of economy to them.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that what they also do is they won't do the same art, but they'll reprint the same card.
Yeah.
So this art will never get reprinted, but they'll do commons of less common arts. So the stone or the weird bend and everything else.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is that then it'll plummet the price.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to stop talking about card games because I'm gonna lose a lot of money. I had an addiction way back when.
Love
and it's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Not,
I'm obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh.
I literally spent $50 when the gold rare Blue Eyes White Dragons came out, and I literally was like, give me 30.
Nick, when you and I used to work together and we ran that club,
we spent so much money.
That was not fun because I spent so much money on my Red Eyes deck.
Oh,
was-
yeah.
And No, I do not want to relive that because I was a poor
it's
kid.
real. It's real. But the moral of the story is there is a right way to simp.
There is.
And there is a right and a wrong way.
Back to the
the
story.
moral of the story is
Some
there's
guy
a
out
right
there
way
is
to
like, so
simp.
there's a chance.
Simp
There is a
correctly.
chance, but simp correctly. Is all I'm saying. Right.
Those are the rules. Yeah.
Invest real time.
But the thing is that what it sounds like, he took the time to get to know you.
He
Not
really
just-
did, and he very much was very much like, you don't want to talk right now. I'm only going to talk when you like want to talk to me.
Talk to me
in your own time, because he also knew that blah blah blah. And now all of his friends make fun of him for dating an e-girl. So it's
Freaking live it, man.
no,
What the
no,
heck?
but
This
they're
guy,
just jealous. They're jealous that
yeah,
he's
exactly.
living the dream.
No.
He's living
Yeah,
the
You know
dream.
what? I will defend your boyfriend
very funny.
if he gets picked on. Just tell him.
Oh
call me
no,
up and I'll be like,
he's
they
dating
know
a-
what it's from because
Yeah.
they all
Good.
They hate
He's-
it.
he's
They
so-
hate him for it.
No, yeah, that would piss me off too.
Yeah. No, I know, because like they also like they're like,
It
okay,
would-
all right.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a right way to do it, and he did it in a very good way. And I just, there
Yeah,
is hope
'cause-
out there, but just don't send me weird messages on Instagram when I don't want to talk to you.
Because I know, like I've taken girlfriends to cons, and they look very bored.
Yeah,
and
so
they-
I'm very into it. I
Yeah.
am into it more than he is.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because when you're going with like a group of friends that are like super into it, it could be the best of days.
Yeah.
Because you're
I
having
love
fun,
cons.
you're having a great day, but a con is a very long day when you have one little sourpuss that's with you, and
Yeah.
you're going like, oh, all right, let's go to this panel, and she's like, why? I don't want to go to a panel where people are talking about the rarity of a Yu-Gi-Oh card and why it's there, and it's like, oh, but they're gonna give out a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
But
at the
I'll
end
get
of
a
it.
Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's actually
get
me.
one.
I went to
Goal.
I'm
waited.
not going to listen to the conversation. I'm going to get the card.
No, I waited. I went to the Yu-Gi-Oh pop-up that was here in LA, done by Hypeland, and I waited in line for like 3-4 hours to get
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh merch. I paid for it. I waited 4 hours to pay for things.
Yes.
And like I was like, this is fine. And
Time well spent.
yeah, that's literally my mentality.
I've spent $400 in 5 hours of my day. I think it was a good choice.
And I think that's like the dream for a lot of these people that follow e-girls online, because like they also, for example, I think they grow up in smaller towns. Like I grew up in Wisconsin, and like so I have so many people hitting me up, like even that I went to high school with, because it's a dream to date a girl who understands why we're going to a panel for 3 hours about Yu-Gi-Oh and is
Basically,
actually
yeah.
hyped about it.
we're not here for them. We're,
yeah.
we're here for the little card thingies.
Yeah,
The little
That's-
the cardboard thingy. That's what we want. That's what
Hey,
we want.
dude.
And you're here.
Hey.
You're here, so I get two.
Hey, we're trying to get a panel as well. What are you trying to say?
No,
That they're
panels
gonna-
are great. But yeah,
I'm not here for
it's-
the panel. I'm not here for them.
Are we giving out? No. See, we're not giving out Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Please
we're
do.
not.
I'll show up.
Just give you like bad cards. Just
Oh my god, yeah,
Just give you
please.
a
just give you
Give me
old.
the
A
worst
Karibo
card,
token.
Yeah.
Karibo.
Oh,
I-
please.
Karibo token.
Yeah,
I
give
think
me
I have,
a
like, I think I have
scapegoat.
40 of those.
Squeeze it back
Dude,
here.
I think I have like
Scapegoat.
I have like a box full of just tokens of just like random tokens
Yeah,
I've gotten
just
over
do
the
that.
years. It's ridiculous.
Easy.
All right, Cece. So
Yes.
I'm going to ask the last question
Oh,
before we
please.
do a little segment called Spidey Watch.
Ew.
Quick question. Last one.
Yeah.
Wait,
2
hold on.
hours.
Yeah,
you know
we're at 2
you know we're
hours.
at 2
That's
hours,
why it's
right?
gonna
Sorry, we're talking a
No,
lot.
this is a great. This is a great
okay.
issue.
Well, we can,
It
hold
is a
on.
2. We're only gonna.
Really-
It's a
really
Spidey
quick,
Watch segment.
Hold on, really quick. We could do that, or we have him redo the intro.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna
instead,
do. I got it in my head.
Yeah,
I got
okay,
this.
okay. Instead
Trust
of
me.
having to
This
go
is why
back.
I'm production manager. I've been planning this entire thing.
No, you heard me say it,
I'm
and then you
going
went,
with
"Oh
the
yeah,
flow.
this
No,
is."
I've been. Anyways, last question.
Yeah,
Cece.
yeah. Yes, idea man of the podcast.
Monster.
Do you have a favorite cosplay?
Oh boy. This is always the issue because I get asked this a lot. Actually, I got to a point where when I was still on Tinder, where I literally put in my bio, "Do not ask me this," because so many people asked me it that I got so annoyed. I was like, absolutely
So
not.
my question is that, because hold on, in the Tinder profile, were there pictures of you cosplaying?
Oh yeah.
That's unfair.
No, it's not. Well, so the thing is, it was a test because I put my favorite cosplay in the description.
Okay.
And I was like, if you ask me this, it means A, you didn't read my bio, and 2, you are like every other person I've talked to on this
don't
platform.
mess with someone that knows marketing, because that's how you get them.
No. I totally get it, but also
I'll end your life.
there's a big thing there that's like I kind of want to ask. Like,
No,
I
know.
want to respect you, but also it's kind of dope. Like,
I get it. No, 100%.
It's a trap. It's a total
It is-
trap.
Oh, 100% it was a trap. I am the meanest person alive. But I would say that I have a few favorite cosplays for different reasons. I think one of my most recognizable ones is Spider-Gwen, because I do Spider-Gwen a lot. I do it for a lot of charity events. I do it for a lot of things. I also have people tell me constantly that I look like Gwen Stacy, which is understandable. It's the bangs. I wear a lot of black headbands. It makes sense. So she is one of my favorites because she is one of my most popular. One of the ones I am the most proud of, though, is I did Jaina Proudmoore from World of Warcraft. Okay. I made that completely, like, it's one of my most complete, like, beautiful costumes. So that's also one of my favorites. I don't know. I have so many favorites.
I think the Gwen Stacy one, you mentioned it first.
Yeah.
So that was like probably.
Yeah, it's like always my go-to, even though I didn't make it. So like I feel like it's a little different because it's like I didn't make it, but it is my most popular.
it's the jumpsuit, right?
It's her Spider-Gwen. I did Spider-Gwen. I did Gwenum. I did regular Gwen Stacy. It's probably my most popular. Besides, actually, one of my most popular is I do Sakura from Naruto, and that's a really popular one. No, just don't come at me about this.
We'll have a conversation later.
No.
I have nothing nice to say, so I'm gonna stay quiet.
I'm not gonna get into this argument because I know exactly where it's going. I get into this argument like 30 times a day. But I became really well known as Sakura. Actually, I did Bikini Sakura, and it went a little viral on Instagram, and so many people were like, I would care so much more about Sakura if she was actually this thick in the show. And that was like the most common comment on that post. And I was like, cool.
That's awesome.
It was a compliment. I was like, I'll take it. Like,
That's definitely a stance to take.
yeah, it was definitely a stance to take. I was like, thank you, internet. Yeah, I have so many that I love and that I've worked so hard on. And the thing is, I get bored of my cosplays very easily, so I make a new one practically every week. So if you go to Triforce of Procrastination on Instagram, you can see all of my work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have a link tree.
I do. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
it's
I'm
on
gonna
the
put
link tree.
all of it on
I'm
there.
assuming you
All
have
in
the
the
link tree.
description.
I do.
We'll put it in the
I
description.
have a lot of
Cece, I will try my damn hardest to make sure every link is available when we put it up on the website.
Yeah.
So that way people
No
are just,
worries,
just
yeah.
get
So
the
you don't
link
have to
tree and
search
put
for
it
me. So you can see how thick I truly am on the internet.
See what
For free.
What Brian's gonna do is he's gonna, as she's talking, put the photo over his face.
Yeah, there we go.
Because you don't want to see Brian, you want to see what she's talking about.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the
This is
situation.
probably Brian's face on my viral photo of Sakura. I'll send it to you. That would be very
Oh
funny.
my God.
That would be a great thumbnail. I'll send it to you guys. Don't worry.
stop.
That's gonna get us a lot of clicks.
Yeah, it's
I'm
definite
busy tonight.
definite clickbait material.
All of a sudden, Nick's getting an edit.
We are into thirst trapping here.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, I just do so much at this point, and I love it, but I also hate it.
Yeah,
I get
you
you.
It's a love and hate thing.
Yeah, it's a love and hate thing, but I just love being characters so much. It's like, it's such an escape from my normal life, and it's like, because then also, like, I started doing all the modeling stuff, and people were like, we want you to regular model, and I was like, I don't really regular model, I just do characters.
Hold on.
I was like, hold on. I was like, can I wear the black headband? Can I at least pretend I'm Gwen Stacy, like, in my head? So it's just where it goes. But cosplaying's really cool. I recommend everybody trying it, at some point in their lives.
You're the second person to say that, which is awesome.
Yeah, I heard Sarah say that, and I feel like it is a really great community when you get to know a lot of people, and it's like the first place I felt welcome as a nerd as a kid, you know? And like, I think that's really cool that, like, I know a lot of people give TikTokers a lot of garbage because they're like, oh, anime wasn't cool when I was a kid. I was bullied. But I'm like, it's a good thing that it's becoming popular, you know, and kids aren't getting as bullied about it. And like people are admitting they like Naruto or Zelda or anything else.
The sad part is that the people that were bullying you were also watching it.
No, they were, and they just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
So at least it's like so much more open now.
Yeah, they just didn't want to admit the fact that they were watching Naruto.
I know, and then they slide into my DMs 10 years later, and they're like, "I always liked you." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus,
suck nuts."
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's that moment of they you know, they wedgie you and they go like, "Oh, it's okay, Sasuke is my favorite character. Now this is gonna hurt."
All right, so I'm gonna give you. And you. I'm going to give all three of you guys 2 minutes to do the Spidey Watch segment.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to talk about it because I'm disappointed. Okay? I don't
About what?
About the leaks.
Oh, who cares?
Why?
I care because I didn't want it to
Because
get
he's
spoiled.
a Spider-Man guy.
Yes, I got hurt. So before we wrap it up, quick little Spidey section.
This can be real. How long do I have?
2 minutes. You already wasted 4 seconds. 5 seconds.
Go crazy.
7 seconds.
All right.
Go crazy. Go stupid.
Here's what I don't understand. Why exactly are you surprised about what exactly showed up when everybody knew what was going to show up?
I'm not.
The fact that multiple Peter Parkers are in this movie, you would actually have to
Spoiler
be
alert,
some
forgot to
kind
say.
of spoiler alert. You said that it was stuff that was spoiled.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
never
this is
mind.
all spoilers.
Sorry,
said
wait.
it was-
You get an extra 15
This is
seconds.
all
Thank
leaks.
you. Because you so rudely interrupted me. Anyway, how exactly could you be surprised when there have been so many leaks from the Sony studios and from Sony employees about who exactly is going to be inside of this movie? Every single time that there's a leak or of any kind, 3 weeks later we find out that it's true. And the fact that, you know, that Cox is going to be in the movie and the fact that he is going to be, Daredevil or anything else, it makes sense. The fact that I'm really interested to see the way that storyline plays out. Tom Holland said that he was at the dinner table and then there was like CG that was happening there and everything else. I was talking to you guys about it earlier, about the idea of Daredevil using his abilities to tell if Peter Parker is telling the truth of whether or not he killed Mysterio. That is so cool. That is an interesting idea and I love it. Is the movie ruined? No, who cares? So what? We know that Spider-Men are in it. We know that, we know that Daredevil's in it. Who cares? I don't know the ending. I don't know the middle, and I don't know how it begins. And I kind of know how it begins. The movie's not ruined for me. It's going to be cool. Watch the damn movie. Stop spoiling if you can, but if not, whatever. So far, no one's told us anything that we haven't already heard.
Rene?
Ditto.
Cece? Go on.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
All right, Gwen.
Yeah. Where's Gwen Stacy? That's my only complaint about the movie. We don't have Gwen Stacy, and I haven't even seen it yet. But I don't see her anywhere. But I do get Tobey Maguire, and that's pretty cool because I would like him to do the Tobey Maguire dance. He's gonna look like he's 40, and I'm gonna hate and love every second of it. And if they CGI his face to look younger, even better. How funny! I love it. I adore it. I think it's great. I think it's gonna be super fun, and that's all I want from a Spider-Man movie is for it to actually be fun.
Yeah, the one thing in which Rene brought up earlier, which I was like, yes, do that, was Tobey Maguire being the MCU's Uncle Ben.
Yeah. I
thought it would be really interesting, just so that way you could have that interaction between not only Tom Holland, but also having that interesting moment of Marissa Tomei's Aunt May have this moment with Tobey Maguire and him trying to kind of like console them, but also being that older brother kind of figure of Spider-Man. And it is really one of those things of you can also have this cathartic moment of Tobey Maguire telling Tom Holland, "You're doing a good job," and it kind of feeling like Uncle Ben telling it to me. And that would be really cool, and that'd be a really touching moment. And in the movie, if it's done correctly, and it would be really cool. I don't
know. I want Tobey. I don't know. I want Tobey Maguire to be a meme. I don't want him to be anything serious. I want him to be the pizza guy. I want him to go pizza time. And like that's it. That's what I want from him. I want finger guns. I want anything he can give me. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be very disappointed in this movie. That's all I want. That's all I want from Tobey Maguire.
I just wanted to die in the theaters when I get to see all three of them there. Like
it's gonna be fun.
I want to pass out and then have like the theater call the ambulance, be like, we got someone who passed out,
Yeah.
because that's how I want to go out. You know
That's
what?
weird,
I
man.
love Spider-Man a lot. Okay, I
also-
hyperventilated when Venom was out, and then they connected the MCU. Probably gonna die when Spider-Man comes out.
You're ridiculous.
No,
You are a ridiculous
It's-
child.
that-
You are a child. You are an absolute child that's like, oh, I don't have responsibilities. Kill me at Spider-Man.
Do it.
I have a fiance. Forget her.
Yeah, get rid of
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You're a ridiculous child. That is what you are.
I need more pictures of Spider-Man.
I can do a great Jonah Jameson. You know, so-
Honestly, throw him in the movie, please. That's all.
He is in the
That's
movie.
also what I want.
J.K.
Wait,
Simmons?
J.K.
Yeah.
Simmons is already in
God
the movie.
bless. That's all I wanted.
As J.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. They're fulfilling my needs. On my hierarchy of needs, you know, like
It's done.
like food, water,
Tobey Maguire.
a hug or whatever, and then it's like Tobey Maguire and I need more pictures of Spider-Man, and those are my needs.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up this issue because we hit 2 hours and I gotta edit all this. So
Oh yeah.
Good luck
I'm
with
sorry.
yeah.
I am so sorry.
No, but I will. No, don't apologize because I'm gonna say this. Thank you for being on here. You know, I didn't know that you only lock your DMs to business inquiries. So thank you.
I don't, but I read everything. For the record, if you DM me, I read every single one. I may not respond,
Hey,
but
but
I
it's read.
read every single one.
With that said, thank you for
That is a
responding.
threat.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being on the show. It was like, honestly, your energy's great, and
Yeah.
you know,
I
you're
try.
welcome anytime.
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yeah,
'cause
we
if
learned
you
a
ever
lot.
talk about anything Yu-Gi-Oh or Twitch again, I am here.
I feel like
I also have been known, so I've been on 2 other podcasts in my life, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is my 3rd one. I have to mention, apparently I am a Kingdom Hearts expert, according to the other world of podcasts. I am not a Kingdom Hearts expert.
Brian's face right now.
I am not in any term of the word, but I've been brought on 2 podcasts just to talk about Kingdom Hearts because
Really?
apparently I'm
Who
the
are
only
they? I
one-
want to be on it.
I am the only one who wanted to talk about it, apparently. So, I just want to say, if you ever talk about Kingdom Hearts, I think I need to make it a meme that I talk about Kingdom Hearts in every podcast I'm on. So this is me
Feature
pitching
episode.
myself.
It's
Yeah.
okay when Kingdom Hearts gets some other side.
Something else.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
come
bring you
on.
up.
Yeah, please.
I'll be like, Cece, get on right now.
The
We're gonna
experts.
let's go. Why does I didn't even finish 3? I couldn't get through 3.
Oh, it's long. But yeah, just I'm happy
Yeah.
to be here, guys. I'm happy that you had me on.
You want to throw in some plugs?
Yeah, you can follow me at Triforce_of_pro on Twitch and Twitter, and you can follow me on Triforce_of_procrastination on Instagram. Again, you are either there for my humor or my butt, and I don't care which one it is.
This is your ASMR segment right here
Yeah,
because you're
it's
just like
I know. I feel like if I pitch myself, I have to make it very clear. So I'm just like, I just
it's great
really
and
pull off my my ASMR voice.
and if you're interested in learning more, we do have a small interview section on our website at Keeping Up with the Nerds where Cece graciously answered a bunch of questions,
Yes,
and
I
it'll
didn't
all be
answer
on there.
them very well, but that's okay.
Cece, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you
any,
Yeah.
for
any of the
everything.
questions
Thank you.
kind of sound familiar from that one guy. No,
One guy?
yeah, how
The feed
tall-
guy. You're
yeah,
trying to throw. No, stop. I'm not. No, no. I'm not Paul.
Listen, I don't know how many Twitter accounts you have.
Yeah, shoot me a DM sometimes, guys. I will read it. And
And you might make it on
that's
Twitter.
it. You might make it on my Twitch stream, honestly. I read a lot of them on Twitch or my Twitter.
So guys, thank you guys for joining us on this issue. You guys can follow us at Keeping Up with the Nerds on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can also check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, for all the latest information. We do have a mini cast that just went up on Monday where Cece, me, and Rene talked about the Disney Plus stuff that came out on Friday. So that's also there. Follow us on YouTube. We want to get to 125 subs by the end of the year. Please go subscribe over there to see the visual portion of the podcast. Follow us on wherever you guys listen to your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, please. 5 stars if you guys like us. Only if you guys like us. You know, not forcing. Am I missing anything else?
No, I think that's
That
it.
should be it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you again, Cece. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Renee, are you ready to wrap this up?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. So we're all gonna
Never
say your
mind.
names at the end. Say yours. Perfect. All right. Hit it.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 73. I'm your host, Rene.
This is Ryan.
That's easy.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. Thank you all guys for watching, and see you all next time.